You're listening to the NWA, the Nubian Wrestling Advocates.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Yo, it's Righteous Reg. It's a case for the safe, keep a space for the Nubians. Unfiltered, off kilter, the professor, the godfather. Post-wrestling, the NWA, not keep guessing, The views and expressions, you know the rest, it's pod excellence, get the message. Advocates for Nubian wrestling, you're listening to the best again. Black wrestling in the ring, we invested in. Nubian kings and queens, we invested in. It's for the culture and we reppin' it. It's for the culture and we reppin' it.
And welcome to the NWA Podcast, the Nubian Wrestling Advocates, the show all about getting color in the professional wrestling business, proudly presented by the good people here at Post Wrestling. It's October, y'all. We done made it to another month, and we have got a lot to talk about. We've got a very special guest, even though he's damn near family. He ain't no guest. He's joining us this month, so let's not waste any time. I, of course, am one of your hosts, the Godfather, Nate Milton. Over 13 years in the game. Ain't a damn thing changed. I'm still your favorite podcaster, and I'm joined by my fellow advocates. Let's start it off right, y'all, because joining me, coming to the stage, some people call this man the angry intellectual. Some people call this man Moderna Chris. Some people have even referred to him as Mimosa Chris. But he's also the mayor pro tem of Los Angeles, California, and the man responsible for not only bringing Luka Doncic to the LA Lakers, but the man who is responsible for creating that malarkey contract that brought Shohei Ohtani to the LA Dodgers. Y'all give it up for my friend, my co-host, and my brother, the good Chris Ely from LA, a.k.a. the Professor. Can we rock? What's up, Doc?
Hey, what's up, pimpin', man? The Dodgers, man. Hoping we can repeat this year. You know, we're doing our thing. I think this is the retirement season for LeBron, although he hasn't confirmed it yet. But most importantly, looking forward to talking wrestling today.
Okay, yes. We gonna have a good time. We're gonna have a good time talking about wrestling. So much to talk about. So let's bring on this next brother, man. He's not in LA, but you can usually find him downtown, sometimes uptown, maybe midtown, maybe even in your town, depending on what show may be in your town at that particular time. But he is always down here at Post Wrestling for the Nubian Wrestling Advocates. Y'all give it up for one of the newest members of the team. You know him, you love him. He's the Corey Hart of professional wrestling because he wears his sunglasses at night. I don't know what the brother's hiding, but we may find out tonight. Y'all give it up for our friend, Gerard Downtown Brown.
Why I gotta hide
good,
something?
Brother?
Why I gotta hide something, though? Why can't I just be doing me, okay? I've been doing this forever. Literally forever. I'm in the swimming pool, sunglasses on. In the movie theater, sunglasses on. I've refrained in my later years.
You can't get chlorine on the Oakleys, brother.
Hey, look. But I need to be able to see underwater.
Okay.
And once again, my future is just too bright, so I need to be able to see where I'm going. So my sunglasses stay on at all times, not just at night. So shout out
except when he's driving. I make sure the insurance companies know that.
Yeah. Keep the premiums low.
Good save, Chris. Good save. But speaking of somebody who got these low premiums because he's driving the company Lexus. Still, after all these months, he's still driving the company Lexus, provided by John and Way here at Post Wrestling. Y'all give it up for one of the greatest producers in podcast history. Some would call him the Caitlin Clark of podcast production. That's why so many affectionately refer to this man as Caitlin Dark. Y'all give it up for one of the greatest producers in the game, also known as the King of Calcium, also known as 10-Day Ray, but most of y'all know this brother as Two-Way Ray Williams. What's going on, brother?
Not much, not much. Always a pleasure to join you, brothers, and I want to go ahead and get right into it. Yeah, you know, pretty uneventful Sunday. Nothing's going on. No other sports have been played, so no other teams have been playing. No football, no nothing. So we could get right into wrestling. So,
okay. I was gonna show up with a cowboy hat on tonight, Ray, but I ain't wanna hurt your feelings, brother.
You the reverse Stephen A.
I am the reverse Stephen A. Smith in many ways.
In many ways, yes.
We ain't gonna get into that. If you want to hear more about our thoughts on Stephen A. Smith, check out the latest edition of the Parlay over at the Nefarious Media Network. But speaking of nefarious, this brother is respected in all walks of life. He is somebody who, you know, Ray, ain't too many people that can just roll in any circle. You know what I'm saying? This man got a key for every forbidden door that's out there. You know this brother from The Torch, where he does such excellent work. You know this brother from Post Wrestling, where he is one half of the most diabolical duo when it comes to talking about the superhero genre with W.H. Park over at MCU later. And they've branched out into the DC universe, and we'll talk about that here in a second. And he's also been down with the Kings of Sport and Nefarious Media for many, many years. Y'all give it up for a fan favorite, if you will. Pun intended. Because this brother is somebody that we always enjoy chopping it up with. Y'all give it up for Rich Fann, and not just Rich Fann, Ray Williams. We got the full Fann tonight. We don't have a Rich Fann memorial picture up with the disembodied voice. We got the full Fann, so y'all give it up. Show some love for Rich Fann in the building.
Good evening, gentlemen. Yeah, I got the Achilles. I'm moving. I'm lifting. Still not running and sprinting, but I got it to the point where I don't have to be laid up like my man in Misery, and I don't have to worry about my wife treating me like Kathy Bates.
Yeah. And for those that don't know, the reason we couldn't show you Rich's pictures, because, you know, Rich said he had to elevate the leg and had the feet all up there. And you don't get any feet content from us until y'all hit up this Patreon, because that is Ray Williams' gimmick. That is Ray's gimmick. When we hit 500 Patreon subscribers, then y'all get the two-way feet, the two-way tootsies, if you will.
Two-way tootsies in this economy. Bless you.
1-000 for them toes.
But real quick, before we get into the graps that we got to talk about tonight, man, Nefarious Media Network, let's talk about it for a second. This is something that we've been doing since January of 2013 or 2025, when we rebranded the Kings of Sport Network, which started in 2013, to the Nefarious Media Network. We brought on some new voices like Gerard Brown, like Jay Lacey, like the good sis Brittany Monet, like Chi-Chi, Chinyere Okafor, and Ray Williams with the Styles Break Fights MMA podcast. We're doing a lot of things. We got our sis OG Rach, who hosts Super Salad, where we talk about the superhero medium, whether it's TV, movies, the comics. So we got a lot going on over at Nefarious, bringing you independent thought, truthful talk, thoughtful talk, turned up talk, because you know we like to have a good time. So if y'all have been listening to us and me here on Post for years and years and years, man, I know y'all been supporting us for years, man. Continue to support us here at Nefarious, because you know what? We're going to talk about John Cena here in a minute. Now, bring me back out, Ray. Bring me back out, because it ain't just about me. It's what the culture's feeling, okay, Ray Williams? Okay. And pop quiz. What is one of John Cena's most famous catchphrases? Anybody?
You can't see me.
Okay, that's one. Anybody got another one?
Hustle, loyalty, respect.
Want some? You want some? Come get some. But what did you say, Ray?
Hustle, loyalty, and respect.
Let's stay on that for a second, okay? Hustle, loyalty, and respect, okay? Let's think about that here for a second. And I'm sorry to get into post-economics voice. This ain't a post-economic situation, but I want y'all to read the clues here, okay? Hustle, loyalty, and respect. So if y'all have been rocking with us for a minute and you respect our hustle, all we asking is for a little bit of loyalty, not even total loyalty, But loyalty at the cost of $3 a month, less than $3 a month, gets you access to the Patreon, patreon.com/Nefarious Media Network. We got the $3 level, the $5 level, the $9.99 level. And if y'all real crazy about us, we got the $40 level, the what you got on my 40 homie level. And again, all of this is part of the drive 500 Patreon subscribers, which helps us do a lot of things, man. Because pulling back the curtain, Rich, I literally just got off of work less than an hour ago. Got home, I did something that we're going to hear later in the show. I had to put that together real quick, send it to Ray, and get a shower and hop on this microphones, man. This brother Chris be out here teaching and educating the kids, man. Gerard holding it down at the shoot job. Ray Williams is out here being an abusive coach to the kids of America. Just yelling and bullying people all the time. You need to stop it, Ray. You ain't Coach Carter. You can't cancel no seasons. But what I'm trying to say is everybody's got their life, but we all dedicate our time to Nefarious, man, because we understand that there needs to be a space for truthful, thoughtful, turned up commentary, particularly coming from folks that look like us, man. Voices that don't get a lot of play in the mainstream media. And so if y'all rock with what we trying to do here, we'd appreciate it if y'all would support us, not only on Patreon, but to the YouTube page, man, because 500 subscribers gets us halfway to monetization. We trying to do some big things, man. There's so many things that I want to bring to y'all, that Ray wants to bring to y'all, Chris, Gerard, Jay, everybody. We want to do, but it's just a matter of time and money, man. And so if y'all appreciate what we're doing, give us a month, man. That's all we ask. Give us a month. Check out the Patreon. If you like it, stick with it. If you don't like it, hey, that's cool. We're not trying to force you into a long-term relationship if you're not ready for that kind of commitment. But just check us out. So that is my spiel on Nefarious Media Network. I may come back to it later on in the show, but if not, go support us, man, because we're trying to do some things here, folks.
Right. Yeah. I'm trying to holler at those Z-Biotics people, man. After last night, man, I had some expensive ass Z-Biotics.
Okay.
And woke up this morning feeling fine. So holler at me if you know anybody from Z-Biotics. I'll do some ad reads.
Listen, do you hear our voices? Look, Rich Fan, Z-Biotics, Better Help, Athletic Greens, Blue Chew. All y'all could be getting these voices to promote your products to the people, man.
I'll throw one more out there. Clean, simple, eat. If you want to get some good protein without the lactose intolerance, and we make
come on, hold on, Chris. I'm gonna give him a free sample right here, because right there, clean and simple. Look, Ray, we all know Ray loves milk, but some of us can't handle what comes with lactose. That's what Clean and Simple comes in, folks. It's good for your body. If you're lactose intolerant, works with your system. Go to cleanandsimple.com, use the promo code Nefarious, and get a free 15% off of your first order of Clean and Simple. Tell them the advocate sent you. That's for free. That's just a sample, just a taste of what y'all could get if y'all align yourself with the Nefarious Media Network.
Yeah.
Just advertisements with shots at Ray Williams. That's exactly what you're going to get from every ad. Because if you think I can't think of a way to turn everything around and throw it at Ray Williams, you are sorely mistaken, advertisers. You ever felt like Ray and just felt like not so tough in the ring anymore? You felt like your slobber's not quite knockering the way it used to? Wow. Ejectocito, cuz where the button at, Ray?
I'm gonna hook my man up. I just threw it in the chat for later, so that way y'all can get some real money with at least Clean Simple Eats, because they do have a brand partner program. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you. Look, thank you, Rich Fan. We appreciate that, brother. And we appreciate everybody out there watching tonight on Post Wrestling. If you want to join in our conversation, there's a quick and easy way to get to the front of the line. That's by smashing that super chat button. Ray is monitoring the chat, and we will bring up your thoughts as they come to us. We got a lot to talk about, but real quick, this is about me and Rich Fan. This is about me and Rich right now. Because Rich Fan, as I alluded to, we got a new challenge in the building. Is it who I think it is, Ray?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Say his name, and he appears. I believe in Jay Lacey,
the leader of the mid-card mafia, the holder of the Shula Thala himself. Y'all give it up for upper mid-card Jay Lacey.
What's up?
Welcome to the party, sir. But real quick, Rich Fann, I know you and WH Park did your review of season 2 of Peacemaker the other night, and I kind of want to use this as a springboard to talk about Cena's retirement tour and what we've thought so far, all the way up through Crown Jewel. But what were you and WH's thoughts? Because I haven't had a chance to check out the show yet. Your overall thoughts on season 2, man.
Oh, I mean, for us, the biggest thing, and it's great that we're doing it in this group. No, actually, if you could, Ray, keep it out. Because I think for the season finale in particular, I felt, and for those of you, I don't warning spoilers for season 2 of Peacemaker, but I felt like, and you guys probably experience, I'm sorry, I don't want to mess you. You've seen a show like Friends, and you get like that, wait a minute. I grew up, I was born in Bed-Stuy, so like I see New York City, but I don't see any black people. And so I'm watching Peacemaker, and when they get to Earth X, and I'm just like, maybe it's just casting, but I felt a little uneasy. And I was like, this don't look right. So when we get to that season finale, and Harcourt grabs one of the flags off the desk, and it's got the stars, but it's got different stripes. They got weird angles on them. I laughed out loud. And the fact that this entire season was not only a study in how well John Cena's evolved as an actor, but how sneaky Mr. Gunn could be in terms of hitting real life. It was like Andor and Peacemaker season 2 were basically like carbon copies of what's going on right now. And the way they handled it, the way they did it, the way they had so many different actors kind of standing out. Like, it was very cool to see his dad talk about how he was the neutral. Like, I might not be down with that Nazi stuff, but I'm just trying to keep my family right. That means you're down with the Nazi stuff. Like, like the scene of watching Lee running down the street with the entire neighborhood, like, that was harrowing. That was scarier than any movie I've seen this weekend. And I would recommend anyone who get a chance, by the way, Black Phone 2, watch it.
Yeah, I thought, Rich, like, I was so pleased, man, with this season. Like, I enjoyed the first season, but I think this season was a lot more introspective. Like you said, Cena's, like, I'm not going to go out here and say John Cena is the greatest actor in the world, but when it comes to this character, I think Cena's cracked the code and, like, gives you so many different layers of Peacemaker, of Christopher Smith. I love the stuff on Earth X, man, and just kind of the way we slowly peel back those layers. Tim Meadows being in the cast this season was like what I didn't need, dog. Like, I didn't know I needed that.
How many people you know that could go onto a show and the director just look at them and say improv whenever you want? Like that entire thing about the Peppermint Twins, like that was just fully improv, and he broke my man Economos when you look at the outtakes, because he was just like, he didn't have Ginger Cool in the script, he didn't have any of those nicknames, he would just pull them out. And when you do watch, WH was particularly enamored with the larger buxom woman's nickname.
Yes.
Because that was a name he enjoyed saying out loud several times on the show.
Yes, and the way he said it out loud, but he put like heart into it.
Pathos, I'm sorry, Pathos.
Yes.
Yeah, he was like, he hit him with the what was it? Like the if you ever watched Platoon, he's screaming "Tit ass!" Like he is like, and his bird blindness, like that.
Bird blindness.
I cried, laughed. I had
said
a
it
bad
was a
day
duck.
that day. Yeah, you said it was a duck. Or the fact that my man came through as a Native American culturally appropriating eagle hunter.
Yes, Michael Rooker.
Michael Rooker is like, what? Like, everyone that says yes to doing a James Gunn show is, even his wife, like, hey, you're gonna be an action star this first season, this second season, we're gonna make you basically a woman with issues, but not the hooker with a heart of gold, not the person that needs to be saved by somebody, someone with some deep-seated emotional trauma, and we're just gonna play it out for like 8 episodes. Go.
Yes. Yeah, my only slight critique, Rich, and it's a very slight critique. And Brittany Monet, who's part of the Nefarious Media Network, has been on Super Salad and some of these other superhero themed shows. We've had this conversation in private, but it's like, I feel like I could have used one more episode because I feel like we left Earth X a little too soon. And then I feel like I man Rick Flag on these streets. Ricky Flag Sr. on these streets. I feel like the shift was a little too abrupt for me, Rich.
I'm going to be honest, Nate, and for any of you guys that remember him from, y'all remember the chat that old Crossbones had right around the time the first Avengers movie came out, where he said Italians were the real discriminated against demographic, and Chris Evans or anybody else could say like, whoa, we're not doing that here. And then we got to the second Avengers movie, and he died horribly under a explosion of his own design. Like, he had it in him, is what I'm saying, Nate. Like, he has, at any given point, he could flip that switch and just be like, yeah, that's fine. Especially
he was doing blow in the lab. I'm like Cat Williams in that Cat Williams joke, like, we can see you.
Right. Like, the thing that messes me up with his kind of heel turn, so to speak, is we just saw how awesome he was in Creature Commandos.
Yes.
Because that's canon too with all this. So it's like you out here in some third world country helping and helping yourself to the princess and doing all that stuff. And you got a dude who's just literally out there, a robot, GI robot, just out here. I'm here to kill Nazis. That's all I'm doing. And you don't think hanging out with, because again, I don't want to mess with Derek and ruin anything. Hanging out with who you were hanging out with was a smart play, even though I appreciate the fact that they retconned a lot of what was the old DC universe and bringing it into what they're doing now. Like even though I loved that Justice League appearance at the end of season 1, replacing them with the Justice Friends was pretty funny.
Yes. So let's take this because Rich and I could talk about this man Peacemaker all evening, man. Like we could talk from here to salvation. If you didn't watch the finale, you ain't gonna get that reference. But money. Anthony, friend of the program.
Yes, frequent contributor to the program. Thank you, T. Anthony, for the $2 Canadian. As Big Money Ray always comes in clutch.
Okay.
Well, we'll be big money once we get these feet picked on. That's when we really be big money.
Well, speaking of big money, because I want to use, thank you, T. Anthony, as always, but I want to use Peacemaker as a pivot to talk real quick about this Cena retirement run, which we've now seen all the way through Crown Jewel. And I know Chris was particularly adamant that he did not have any love for the heel run. Now that that's over, what have you made of the latter part of this retirement tour? Overall, has it been a net positive for this brother John Cena? And we can start with you, Chris.
I mean, I think it's a net positive for Cena, not because it was good, just because he's getting the fuck out of there and starting the next phase of his career. No, this has been a horrible heel run. This has been a horrible overall. This is 2025 has been a career low light for John Cena.
Oh, wow.
I can honestly say that even the good stuff that he's done is not really good stuff. It's more, we'll give you a mulligan just because all the other shit you did was unwatchable, and we know WWE is screwing you, and you're just running the plays, so. It is what it is, but this has not been a good run. Cena's had better years than this in his wrestling career. I'm talking about when he's actually wrestled. The good news for John Cena is it'll all be over soon, man. You got the rest of October, November, and I don't even know if you're finishing up the month of December, but you get to chill. Do your movies, do Peacemaker.
Damn.
Like Rich and Nate, I've been watching Peacemaker this season. I haven't watched the season finale yet, but I'm gonna watch that soon. And yeah, Cena has other checks to clear. He's got other hurdles to climb. He does not need WWE anymore at all. He could tell wrestling fans to kick rocks forever and he'll be fine. But yeah, I think and I'm listening to all these the punditry and stuff make excuses for it. This is a WWE fumble. This is Cena could have been like, yeah, I'm not doing this crap, but Cena's got his eyes on greener pastures. But this has been a WWE fumble from the beginning. And they have to take the blame for it. There's no excuse for it. That's what I don't like. I didn't even watch the clip of Chris Van Vliet interviewing Peter Rosenberg, but I'm just gonna make a guess that he was defending WWE for this bullshit. And if he was, there's no defense of them. This has been a horrible.
Rosenberg, like, don't mess up my bag, brother.
Yeah, well, you got other bags, Rosenberg. I can understand if you had to sell out.
Hey, Chris, as somebody who is currently bagless, man, get all the bags you can get, brother.
Yeah, get all the bags you can get, but you can get multiple bags.
True.
I know people at Hot 97. He's not struggling that much for money. I know WWE's paying him well. He could get money from other places. You know, there's if you want to defend WWE, go ahead and defend them. You can't because it's been a horrible fucking run. But it's just and some things are objectively true and objectively false. Some things are just you gotta call it what it is. And this John Cena run has been objectively horrible. And I'm talking about, you can look at it from your opinion standpoint. If you like it, that's fine. That's your opinion. It being good or not, if you're judging by metrics and objectives, it hasn't been good. It's been horrible. There's no excuse for it.
And to be clear, like from a narrative standpoint, we're saying, Chris, because financially they've done well with this run.
From
a narrative standpoint.
Yeah, and even that, financially they've done well. Okay, whatever, man. I mean, they've done well because they inked deals to kind of set them up to do well. You know, they signed the Netflix deal, so that's money in the bank. We'll see how long that lasts. They're not even announcing the numbers for Netflix anymore, so we'll see how long that lasts. They got the CW deal for NXT. They got the deal for SmackDown on USA or whatever. So they're doing well financially. We'll see how long it lasts, but from financially, yeah, you can say they're doing well. I can't say it because I don't know what the definition of well is anymore. I'm going to need Rich to expand on that, but I'll go ahead and concede that financially they're doing well. Creatively, this storyline, if you ask me about some other stories, my opinions will vary, but nah, man, this ain't been it. It just ain't been it, man. And you know, I hate doing it because I know how WWE fans like coming for me, but I can't lie about something that's blatantly fucking obvious. So yeah, that's my long answer.
Rich Fann, what are your thoughts about this final run for John Cena, including the heel turn, and has it been a success in your eyes?
Well, I'd say it's up and down. I would say from a creative standpoint, no. I think him going and being the person he is and doing everything he's been doing has been really a disappointment. And some of that is, as Chris mentioned, when you play quarterback and you don't audible and you're just going to run the plays they're called. If it's a draw, you're going to be happy running that draw, even though everybody else knows it's 3rd and 30 and you need a little bit more. And then from a monetary standpoint, he doesn't need the money, But that Australia trip was probably his most lucrative in his career.
Right, yeah.
When you look in that stand and you look, they were selling those shows for $70 a pop, and probably 3/4 of the audience bought them. I think he made. I think it was the numbers were between $250,000 to $500,000 just in merch that night.
Damn.
Cool.
And it's like for him, that's going to one of his muscle cars, or maybe a homeless dude in the street we don't know about, or more acting lessons or something. But that's great for him. But in terms of seeing him wrestle AJ Styles, seeing him wrestle some of these folks on his tour, I've liked them. I don't know if I'm gonna like Gunther if the storylines hold there, because I feel like he don't need that. Gunther doesn't need it. If anything, someone like a Dominic could use beating Cena on the way out and having that as the thing he's got as a pelt on the wall. But for the most part, I've been nonplussed. And because he's such a big character, and because all of these other fumbles are happening around them, like saying they're going to be using AI, all the pictures that Levesque takes with the president and his merry band of cronies, that stuff just takes away. It's a net negative because, I remember Pepperidge Farm remembers when Cena was the guy that did the video about everybody being accepted when in the middle of everything else, no one wanted to do that. And so he's just kind of like getting his paycheck, getting out, because I think he sees which way the wind's blowing.
Jay Lacey, you on the younger end of the spectrum here, the Nubian wrestling advocates, and I'm sure growing up, brother, I can see you in your chain gang shirt. I can see you with your spinner belt, man. I can see you listening to the music. What have you thought, man? Seeing your childhood hero, you and R-Truth's childhood hero, seeing his final run. What thoughts has it brought to your mind, brother?
Man, first of all, y'all can hear me, right?
Yeah.
First of all, that mute button is a menace this weekend. Anyway, we had a whole calendar year to come up with something for John Cena, and this is what we decided to put out on display. I mean, 20 plus years or 20 years of hustle, loyalty, and respect. To what Chris was saying, this pretty much is left a negative taste. And I'm not even the biggest John Cena fan. I mean, I respect what he's done for the industry. You can't knock his hustle, pun intended, for what he's done for WWE. But they started out so well when they told the story that, okay, he's turning heel, only to give us garbage match. And I'm talking about garbage finishes with nut blasts, low blows. It's uncreative. It's been such lazy booking, only to retcon it and say, you know what? I'm a good guy now. Come SummerSlam, I'm gonna face Cody Rhodes and I'm gonna do my best. And gosh darn it, you guys are gonna like me again. And at the snap of a finger, he's playing the hits. And I think as a fan, it's been an injustice, and another DC pun intended, that we've had to watch this and witness this. And I wish it was done better creatively. And again, I think Cena sees the light at the end of the tunnel, and he's out the door. I hope that his last match can elevate somebody who's going to be around for a while that can actually use it, like a Dominic. I like that idea of seeing him put over somebody and make it mean something. Gunther doesn't need it. Somebody who you would want to put stock into, maybe a Carmelo Hayes could definitely benefit with somebody like that caliber. But put it on somebody that doesn't have that kind of shine yet, but you want to invest your future into in the next 10, 15 years.
Okay. Gerard Brown, John Cena always says, you can't see me. If you were in the room with the champ, you probably say, I can't see you either because I got these doggone sunglasses on at night, brother. But as somebody who I'm sure has followed this man John Cena's career for many, many years, what are your thoughts on this final run for one of the greatest of all time?
I don't blame Cena, but it's trash.
Basura, some would say.
Hey.
Basura.
But being there in Toronto at Money in the Bank when he announced, hey, I'm retiring, him coming out, hey, I'm gonna see y'all in a year, and then we don't see him for the rest of this year. So we We know the time is already ticking. We don't do anything else with 2024. We get to 2025, and that first Raw feels like a waste. It's just, Royal Rumble, cool. See you at the Rumble. And we're wasting more time. But the one thing I know that they did, and I brought it up, and you can see it, the stubbornness in the storyline. We prepped out the gear merch-wise like a mug. And we had every shirt for every town already designed, planned, and printed. So when we decided last minute we need to jazz things up with some Zatarans, we decided, we're going to turn Cena heel. Cool, great, but instead of changing the path, we just stuck to the mission. Cena's shirts at the Rumble, I was at the Rumble. Sold out, flying off the shelf. Like, you could not get those shirts to save your life. We moved to Toronto. I was there for that Elimination Chamber, and it felt like something big had to happen at Elimination Chamber coming from the Money in the Bank appearance, because it was nothing. It was really, outside of announcing something, it was a nothing appearance. And so, cool, he won the Chamber in a fun little way in a match. Cool. Now here's the heel turn. Would I ever take that heel turn back being there live? It was so much fun. I cannot.
Yeah.
What I wish I could take back is my WrestleMania in Vegas tickets, because then my man decided to phone it. I thought he was doing good at Chamber, and then performance-wise, we phoned it. And I'm gonna call it a phone it because of what I'm seeing now. This AJ match was great. You gave Logan Paul all that energy and all that jazz, but then you couldn't give me nothing with Cody at Mania for your 17th championship win. That's how we're gonna do the record-breaking win, and then this is how we're gonna do the actual reign with these lazy produced title belt. I'm the weakest version of a heel. By this point, John, you've smashed so many bad guys and beaten so many heels. I expect you to know how to do a better heel character. I know you haven't done it in 20-something years. I still expect better from you. And being there for some of those live appearances, I'm disappointed. I want my money back. And especially when I see you do this, feels like the Uncle Phil episode when Uncle Phil was like, playing pool, and he was like, and then like second game, he's like, from SummerSlam forward, this is the second game. Like, he just
bring me Betsy Lou.
Like, what is this? Like, he switched up.
Lucille, yes, give me Lucille.
Like, for me, I wish Cena, either if we're gonna turn him heel, change the merch, change the act, give him an actual storyline, and
change the damn.
My God, the music.
They should have changed
nothing.
Yeah,
you're lazy. You're lazy. Come on now. Just stop. That's why I don't put that on Cena, because he probably saw the laziness and said, okay, cool, we gonna keep my merch. I'm getting the merch sale. So what am I to do at this point?
Right, yeah. And he's already got a foot out the door, It's not like he could complain, but what's he really complaining about? Because he's not gonna be here after this year. So it's he's whatever happens. It's like selling a house, like I love my house. I want to keep it the same. I like the things done in it. But once I sell it to somebody and make the decision to leave the house, what happens to that house? What happens to that neighborhood is out of my hands, So it's tough for me to blame Cena from that perspective. Like he gets some blame, but at the same time, I understand that that's not his life anymore. This is not going to be his life anymore. The heel turn was just lazy. This is the worst heel turn ever. The turn itself was fine. Like Gerard was saying, it was fine, but the way they just did not capitalize on anything makes it horrible. And the Steve Austin's heel turn was better than this. Steve Austin, they shouldn't have did that heel turn, but when they did the heel turn, they tried with the heel turn. And other guys got elevated as a result of that heel turn, you know, like Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle even leveled up a little bit. There was good that came from Cena's heel turn, or not Cena's heel turn, Steve Austin's heel turn. I do not know the good that's come from Cena's heel turn, except for the fact that it's going to be over soon.
The one good that could have come from Cena's heel turn, they gave up on after 2 weeks with Ron Kelly.
Right. And R-Truth is like gone on interviews, because I saw someone sent me some excerpts from him saying, yeah, it was selfish for me to want to like level up or something. Or it was like, I don't know. Somebody Jedi mind tricked that brother into accepting scraps and being happy with him, you know? Because R-Truth, you could have at least gotten a strong, like, maybe month-long title reign with him or something. You had the serious stuff with him. You can't say it was a failure, or it would have been a failure, because you didn't even fucking try. And when you tried for the couple weeks, it did good business. It was good. You know, people liked it. And then you're like, this brother belongs where he belongs. You know, he's a clown, and that's the end of that.
Real quick, Ray Williams.
The only good thing I could say that came out of the John Cena turn, it benefited one person who's not even in WWE, and that's that Belgium kid that got picked on and bullied. That's it. He got a cool story out of it. He actually got thrown out to another event, got apologized to. It benefited him. That's it.
Shout out to my man Augustus Gloop Jr. on these streets.
Shout out.
Now he's somewhere punching there. They hated on me.
Ray Williams, real quick, pop up here for a second, because sometimes you got to pop out and show them. Any thoughts on this last run for your man John Cena on these streets?
Well, and first off, I guess,
and why are you doing the rich fan gimmick?
Yeah, I'm doing this. I didn't mean to steal your gimmick, brother. I'm sorry. I wish I would have had a picture of myself in black and white. Nah, we ain't gonna play them games. But I had to cut the camera on because of my internet's bugging out and it's slowing everything down. But yeah, I felt similar to you guys. I think it's creatively it's a disappointment, but financially, of course, they're making this money. And again, I feel the exact same way that you guys do as far as how Cena could have portrayed himself in a little better light as a heel, how he could have went so many different directions. And it is I like you, Chris. I don't fault him, because you can't control when The Rock doesn't show up when he's supposed to show up. You can't control that doggone Travis Scott can't get his act together. So yeah, but I think it could have been so much better. But at the end of the day, I never seen it really, even when he won the title, I never really saw him as the main event act that carried, like, the story that carried the show from month to month to month. So right. I just felt as though, all right, well, things are happening, but I think once you guys mentioned, like, I think he was still trying to get his feet together as far as physically performing up to a standard that fans are used to seeing him. And I think those first few months he could hide it well, because he was in all of those multi-man matches. But once he started getting into those one-on-one matches, then you kind of started to see the slowdown a little bit, especially in that WrestleMania match. But I think he started getting his feet under him once he had that SummerSlam match. And I think since then, like I said, that the heel turn was historic, like you guys mentioned. The actual heel run was something that he left something to be desired. But him going back, he's been getting good matches ever since SummerSlam. Aside from that WrestlePalooza match, whatever that was supposed to be. with Nasty Man 2.0.
I mean, that was his dream match. He asked for that match, according to Paul.
Yeah, sure.
Right, yeah.
Just like Paul said, the fans were saying, "I want Brock. We want Brock," instead of what they were actually saying.
Yeah.
And by the way, you mentioned Peter Rosenberg. Peter Rosenberg was the first one to say that before Triple H did, to give Triple H an out. It's like, boy, stop being a shill, nigga. Stop it.
Yeah, really, man. I didn't listen to any of Peter Rosenberg's. Actually, when CVV put up, when I saw the thumbnail of him interviewing Peter Rosenberg, I like Rosenberg just fine when he's not talking wrestling, but I felt a little insulted by that. Like, why are you interviewing this guy? You're not going to talk about any Hot 97 stuff. You're only going to talk about his WWE shill work. Who wants to see this shit? I do want to kick back on a point that I think all of us have brought up on this episode about, like, financially it's been a success for WWE. Here's my thing with this, with that point and that notion, is you can say that about these things every time they don't do what they're supposed to do with Cena. The argument is always, well, fine, they're making money. My question is always, could they have made more money if they did the other thing, you know?
Yes.
Like when they didn't turn Cena heel for, like, people have been calling for a Cena to heel turn since probably about 2007. And if they, because I look at the example of Diesel. Diesel in 93, 94 was turning into an edgy character. He was turning into a baby face that everybody liked. And then once he actually made the face turn, Vince McMahon was like, okay, we don't want the badass version of you anymore, Diesel. We want you hugging babies and shaking hands and kissing, you know, doing all that shit. And their business stagnated, right? WWE is never going to be in a position again for a while where their business is going to stagnate like that. But I always say, like, if they left Cena an edgy heel, how would the money have been for that? You know, I don't think it would have. I think it would have made the money it was supposed to make. You know, Vince just wanted to be in those corporate settings. You know, he wanted the sponsors like Budweiser and Snickers and all this shit that's gonna make him money. But like, even with this run with Cena, it's like, yeah, you could say they've made a lot of money, it's been lucrative, but you don't think it would have made more money if they actually did a good heel turn? That's just food for thought. It was a rhetorical question. It's just, I'm asking it because they didn't even fucking try. That's the thing. It's like, I could understand if they tried and it failed, but they didn't try. That's my problem with WWE. And this isn't anything new with WWE. This is something they've been doing for the last, you know, probably since the 90s. They just don't try with these things, you know?
Yeah, it was super lazy, and because I want to spin it back to Rich to kind of get his overall thoughts on Crown Jewel. But last thing I'd say on the Cena run, Rich, is the moment itself when he turned heel. Like, that's, you can go back and look at whether it's the Torch or whether it's the Observer or whether it's us here at Post or when we did our live watch over at the Kings of Sport. Like, that moment hit, that moment resonated with folks. The follow-up was lazy, it was lackluster. Like, the fact that you got my man saying his mission is to ruin wrestling and there are zero ramifications once his heel run is over and he's the babyface again. Ain't nobody be like, hey, ain't that the dude that was trying to ruin wrestling, trying to take food off of my table, trying to take clothes off my kid's back because of his actions? There was no ramification for it. It's just like, okay, I guess everything is back to the status quo, Rich. And that to me is kind of the most disappointing thing about the Cena heel run. Like, yeah, it's been cool to see him have the match with AJ and some of the stuff he did with Cody, particularly at SummerSlam. But it's just like, dog, there could have been so much more that you could have gotten, and especially from a John Cena, who, as we saw on Peacemaker, that now the brother got an acting bag that he can go into that he might not have had before.
Yeah, I think it's twofold, and I think it ties into what Chris was talking about. I don't think when you look big letter WWE, this was a fumble. I think this was a fumble in terms of interpersonal relationships and what people hadn't really counted on. And one of the things my boss over at the Torch, Wade Keller, brought up was it was very clear John Cena, much like The Rock, saw Cody Rhodes as the dude who used to get his bags, and he used to be able to sing, "Wow, there goes Cody Rhodes," like do that fun. And he came back, and Cody's the top guy. He's like, this dude's the top guy. Just like The Rock, this dude, we got to turn him heel. We got to find some ways to make this work, because clearly he would now, he's working as a babyface. He's got the juice to tell me no. Well, all right, well, I guess John will turn heel. And John, yes sir, no sir. And he's also, as Chris and Jarrett and Downtown said, like, everybody's been on a job when the boss tells you to do something and you know it's wrong, but you only got 10 days left. All right. All right. And when you watch Crown Jewel and you watch these other matches, you could see he's never said one word about thanking Cody Rhodes for being in the ring with him, but he's gushing about AJ Styles. He's gushing about Sami Zayn. He's gushing about every other person. Like, you might give him a bottle of water. He'd be like, "Jared, that was refreshing. I have never drank a drink so smooth and crisp in my life." And that's the type of stuff he's been doing. So it's clear he and him are not cool. He's like, "Okay, you might be their quarterback, but you ain't my quarterback." Or as my good friend WH was like, hashtag not my quarterback.
Right.
And so when I think you combine that in his heel turn, I like the fact that he said, "I was in an abusive relationship for 20 years and I finally got out." But then he just kept saying it because, again, Paul's trying to deal with The Rock and him every 5 minutes calling saying, "Yeah, I talked to the board and we're going to need you to park over on the other side of the street now because I'm going to stop by for a little bit." And then everything happened and he got in his feelings and he went to go promote the Smashing Machine, and the Smashing Machine ain't make the money he needed it to make. And now Paul's like, "Can I fit you in for 42 and 43? Or can I like what you want to do? Should I get you in the Rumble?" And he's not returning those calls. Meanwhile, Cena's kind of like floundering. And that's that failure of leadership. Because the same thing you're talking about, Chris, is the thing, sadly, that Vince McMahon paid attention to. When you have Shapiro and you have these other heads of TKO bragging that Vince McMahon's biggest issue was catering the families, that was the thing that kept him in the babyface business with John Cena. It wasn't necessarily that he wanted the corporate sponsors, but he also needed to clean up the Chris Benoits.
Right, yeah, exactly.
And so Cena had to wear that and be the happy-go-lucky face. Because remember, he was the dude talking about Mexican immigration with Eddie Guerrero and the Royal Rumble and all these other things. And they cleaned him up. Once they cleaned him up good. At least with Austin. Austin could do some of that stuff. And I apologize if I do disappear. My laptop's about to die, and I'm not in a spot where I can get. So if this is my good call to the mountains,
So you saying the last time is now, Rich Fann?
It is. Last time I should have had a shirt to signify it, but, But no, I think overall, like, both with the pay-per-view and then Cena's run in totality, the mission was for him to go in there and kind of like josh it up with the fellas and the ladies. It wasn't necessarily to give the fans the conclusion and the closure that maybe some people sought. And I think the sooner we understand that, because you're right, Chris, just saying dollars and cents, that's not going to make it up. It's not going to make anything. But when you look at from the perspective of you go back to a place you used to work and you can big dog it for a little bit and dip, all of us have done that or wanted to do that at some point. Right, and that's basically what he's done. Like, I'm sure there's some heads, I'm not going to, like, if you were in another academic department, I'm sure there's some heads who had tenure that, like, if they could remove that tenure and you could just hit them with a eraser softly, you do it. And that's what John got to do, really.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's the thing. He said, "I'm not coming back after this."
Yep.
I think we don't get the story. We don't get the push. We don't get the narrative that we got in 2012 leading into the Rock's final match of, this has been the roughest year of my life. This, that, the other. I can't win a match to save my life. Because this is not his WWE. And so he doesn't care to fight anymore.
Right.
So I'm going to just get my last little bag and leave because the person who made me is no longer here. And I have loyalty to him, and I love Vince McMahon, and I'm never going to stop saying that. So maybe he's just saying, hey, this is not Vince's company anymore, and it won't ever be that. So I'm not doing that. And so I'm not gonna push this any better or worse than it's going to be. Whatever they hand me is what they hand me, and I'm gonna do that, but I'm gonna walk that company line. And I mean, Derek Mitchell in the chat said it earlier. A lot of shows, the Sopranos, Game of Thrones, The Wire, Martin had that rough last season. Dexter, my God, and they have a last season, and so like this is almost like that season 8. That's rough.
The Flash.
That's true. Yeah, I get it. And I think The Sopranos, the last season of The Sopranos, I don't think the season was necessarily rough. I think the last episode was left a lot to be desired, but that's neither here nor there. What I will say is that I just, let's put it this way. If Triple H doesn't survive the Ari Emanuel era, I do think people will circle back to this Cena heel turn. And because one of the things that I think a lot of us are not remembering is that nobody's job in that company is guaranteed anymore. You know, except Ari Emanuel's. Nick Khan's job is not guaranteed. Nick Khan's job isn't guaranteed. Triple H's job isn't guaranteed. So they're gonna have to. We'll know for sure what Triple H's WWE future is gonna look like. Once we move into 2026 and 2027 and see if they're happy with the financial gains or stagnation that they make.
Okay. Well, we'll get back to Crown Jewel here in a second, but I do want to be respectful of Rich Fann's laptop and Rich Fann's time. So any quick thoughts on WrestleDream? Any thoughts on the Andrade situation? Let us know any thoughts that you got before you head out and fade into the ether, good brother.
Well, hopefully it don't fail on me, and then I get stuck with an awkward freeze, which is a nightmare for anybody, any situation. But I would say WrestleDream overall, I like the card. It was just long. That's always the rejoin for any AEW show. I mean, Monet, you had her win the belt, and Ultimo Monet. I appreciate Mercedes and her ingenuity with that. Looking at what's going on with Andrade, read a contract. That's like everyone's saying, oh man, WWE is evil. Like, dude got fired allegedly for wellness violation. It's on the performer to tell you. Like, if Nate hired me for nefarious media and I didn't tell him I had a no compete with the Torch or with Post, that's a me mistake. That's not Post being evil or Torch being evil. And so that's where, like, I get people, like, given the political climate and the ties these fools have, I get WWE equals bad almost every way. But when it's just basic stuff, like, for instance, if AEW had that in place, Andrade the first time couldn't have slapped folks upside the face to try to get fired. Because he would slap Sammy Guevara in the face backstage because he was like, all right, y'all going to fire me? And they were like, stay home and we'll pay you. It's like, no, you could have fired him and said, you chill for the next 18 months, dog. And so now he's going to chill for the next, 11 and a half months. And it just looks really awkward because now he can't do anything and Tony jumped the gun. And the worst thing that happened in this situation is Tony's the one that messed up because you sign this dude, you brag about him, then you find out, like, you get a gentle call from WWE Legal. And you hear they got a 3-way call. You hear Nick Khan chuckling in the background. He's like, now tell him it's free here. Tell him it's free. Oh, sorry. like all that stuff. So now you got to eat it. Like, that's tough.
Yeah. I think, like, because here's the thing with that too, is that
Hold on. We got money. What we got, Ray Williams?
All right, I'm back. All right, so we get T. Anthony again contributing. Thank you for the 10 Canadian dollar donation. TBF, if Cena never turned heel financially, WWE would be all right regardless. But the creative almost across WWE has been underwhelming, minus a few moments. And then we have another one from good old friend, the third most popular host of Eagles Don't Hunt Flies, Brother Brandon from New Jersey. Shout out to you for $9.99.
Shout out
to the advocates for the love shown to the homie Leo these few months. Good news. His new round of AZT is working. The bad, he developed a crippling gambling addiction. Do you have any advice? Peace and love.
Hey, first of all, shout out to Lee, man. Glad to hear that you getting stronger, brother. My gambling advice would be never bet on an Atlanta team and don't bet on soccer, because I can't understand none of these damn teams, particularly the international play. I thought England was supposed to be good at soccer. I thought they invented the game of soccer, or the football, if you will, Rich Fan. But every time I put a bet on the English national team, I lose.
Well, you can't.
It's cowboy shit, bro.
They got friendlies, they got World Cup qualifiers. So when you mix them up, if you get betting on a friendly, that's like preseason here in the NFL or NBA. You can't be betting on the Hawks playing the Wizards preseason game 3. That's degenerate behavior.
You know you got a problem. Man. You know you got a problem.
I done lost so much money on these friendlies, man. It's been unfriendly to my bank account, brother. But real quick, we gonna let Rich slide to the side because he has been gracious with our time. Always good chopping it up with you, Rich. But any thoughts? Any plugs you'd like to share before we let you head home tonight?
I would say post wrestling. Obviously, this Tuesday, myself and WH are going to be going over on MCU later, Marvel Zombies. And so, if anyone's interested in that, I will be throwing that up in the forum tonight before I pass out. And then, of course, over at the Torch, I do everything with Rich Fann with the editor publisher Wade Keller. And thank you guys as always for the time.
Hey, thank you. Y'all give it up for the good brother Rich Fann, one of our favorites around here. He's more than a guest. He's family, and he's happy tonight because the Chiefs are fully whole now. That Pat has a whole complement of receivers, and they looking a little scary. So, Lee, if you want to bet on the damn Chiefs, because I think it's going to be scary season for everybody in the AFC for the rest of the year.
Thank you very much, and enjoy Mr. Rice as long as he stays out of a vehicle.
Yes.
Him and Vince, stay out of cars. Vince, stay away from women.
That part. Thank you, Rich. The good brother Rich Fann, ladies and gentlemen. So let's do some backtracking. We're gonna get back to Crown Jewel here in a second. We'll get to WrestleDream in a second, but let's stay on the point that Rich just brought up, Chris, because this Andrade situation is something a lot of people have been talking about recently. So go ahead and continue what you were gonna say.
Yeah, I would say
Andrade's contract.
Here's the thing with the Andrade thing, and I do agree with Rich, everything he said. I honestly don't think that WWE thought that AEW would hire Andrade back so fast, and not just hire him back, but put him in a program with a top star in the company. And I think that kind of forced their hand a little bit faster. The thing with these type, and this kind of shit has happened before, where guys try to get work elsewhere after leaving WWE, and WWE says, "Yo, we've got you for this many months or this many years or whatever." And anytime they fought against it, the guy has won, because they did this to Brock Lesnar. I don't know if you guys remember this. I do wish Rich was around to talk about this, but this did happen to Lesnar when he retired after that horrible WrestleMania 20. he retired and he wanted to play football. And then when football didn't work out, he was trying to get back in the wrestling, and they were like, nah, you can't work anywhere, for X amount of years. And, they took it to court and they were like, look, this guy's got to make money. And Lesnar won. They tried to do the same thing to Alberto Del Rio. And they've done it to like other guys in that company. So I don't know. I don't know if it's even worth it for him to fight against it, because at the end of the day, I guess it was a contract breach. I don't know. I do think that if they have him wait the year, I think he'd probably be the same level of hotness he is this year, because it wasn't like he left WWE super hot,
Nope. So
I mean, I don't know how big of a deal this is or not, and we'll see what's gonna happen if WWE, because a year to say, hey, you can't wrestle anywhere. I don't know if he's getting paid for this year or not. Maybe if one of y'all know, let me say, but that's a long time to tell somebody that you can't work anywhere else, like if it's like when they have that 3-month window after people get released, guys are still getting paid their downside. So that makes sense. If
unpaid.
What's that?
Unpaid.
Oh yeah. So yeah. He could probably fight against this and win, I mean, if he's not getting paid for the year, shit, man, that's a year is a long ass time to not be pulling in any kind of income. So I don't know. This is just what my limited information that I have on this.
What's your take on the Andrade situation downtown?
It's embarrassing in my opinion for AEW, because it's just a jab that WWE is able to have, even if it does have its own legitimate legal ramifications behind it. It still is an embarrassment for that. And for the Kenny Omega situation, it's weird that he's just got now these two unacknowledged programs that he just has going on, with the Kyle Fletcher takeout, and then now the fact that Andrade was just gone and missing for so long, and now he was back tagging with other people, but not acknowledging Andrade or anything around that. So I think that was embarrassing, but I agree with everything everybody else has already said. I don't really have anything grander to add to this point for Andrade. I just hope that when he comes back, he is allowed the chance that he is looking for to be a main eventer, because I know that's what he's been chasing ever since NXT.
Jay?
I would be beating a dead horse. I just think that, it looks bad for AEW not to go back and look at the man's contract. I mean, you got a legal team, I'm assuming, so go back and read the verbiage and just don't take the talent, for their word. Like, yeah, I can show up tomorrow, just, you need to go and do your due diligence. That's probably the biggest glaring red flag for me. I really do hope that he is able to, and from my understanding, he can't wrestle in I think it's either United States or North America or something like that.
That's
but
correct.
If it's just the US, he can just go wrestle in Mexico, maybe. I mean, they AEW has a CMLL agreement they've got a partnership with, so at least he can get some reps in doing that. Go to New Japan if necessary. Go across the pond. Do something to stay relevant. Because it's a bad look.
Yeah, like to me, it's a bad look on all sides. Like if you are the WWE and you like, hey, cuz you can't work for a year, you ain't getting paid for a year. That's in this current climate in terms of the economy and what's about to come down the pikes, Chris. Like that's a bad look. But also, like if you are Tony Khan and this dude's like, hey man, I ain't with WWE no more. Can I come back? Cuz like, let's take a look at your contract first. Would be I ain't even a businessman. I don't own no company. I don't even own Nefarious Media. I'm just the founder. Like, ain't been no documents put down, Ray. We probably need to get on that because I don't want, to get hit by a bus tomorrow and then Ray Williams inherits all of my riches here. Like, we got to do something about that. You get like 10%, Ray. 10%. I'm gonna leave that to you, Ray. 10%. Gerard and Jay each get 20%. Chris know me and Chris have already worked on the details.
Right,
But like, that would be the first question I would ask. Like, what's your contract status with WWE? Not, I'm gonna put you on TV and build this up to something big, and then 2 weeks later, we can't use you because they got lawyers on the phone telling us they're going to put action against us if we put you on TV. And so, he may have to go to Japan because, honestly, even with a CMLL, it would not shock me if they found a way to, like, hey, we got AAA down here, dog. That's us too. You can't work close to us.
And if you're AEW, you have to ask yourselves the question, is Andrade worth the money to be
come back out, Ray? Chris, this is why me and Chris we the dream team because we the yin and the yang. We like CM Punk and John Cena. Like, where Chris is weak, I am strong. Where I am weak, Chris is strong. Because I wanted to say the same thing. It ain't nice to quote Stephen A. Smith. It's not nice, Gerard.
Right.
But he's not wrong. Like, is the juice worth the squeeze with Andrade in particular, Chris, is a question I would be asking if I'm TK.
Right, yeah. Because, I mean, like I said, I've seen other guys fight against this kind of WWE fuckery before and have won. So I do think if they go to court, Andrade, at worst they'll say, yo, you got to sit out for 2-3 months and then you could come back to work. Yeah. I don't see any judge telling this man you can't work for a year. But then the question is AEW gonna push this guy Andrade to the point where if they go to court and fight this, they will recoup on the court costs that it costs to put this guy back in the ring, because like I think WWE probably saw him as a guy that we could release and the other company wouldn't even really want him, And that was always my fear with guys like Andrade and Rusev and people like that got released by one company for not being pushed and then go to the other company and not get pushed.
You may have said this right before he got released. Like, is he going to fare any better in WWE? The grass ain't always greener.
Right, yeah. And then he goes to WWE and, they don't do what they need, they don't do anything special with him. And now he's back in AEW. And to my surprise, TK brought him back and put him in a top position. And I don't think WWE, anyone there and probably anticipated that. I think they thought that if he went back to AEW, he'd be like jobber number 5 or something like that. And the fact that they're pushing him is probably the reason.
Do you think if they brought him back, no shade to Jay Lacey, but if they brought him back as one of the mid-card marauders, do you think that they would be as adamant that he can't work?
That's the $1 million question. I don't think they would be. I think if they brought him back as a fucking jabroni, I don't think they'd care that much. But they bought him back they put him in a top spot. Kenny Omega is if you get hired by AEW and you're told, hey, the guy we want you feuding with the first is Kenny Omega, that is a very good position, And I think WWE knows this, when they say, hey, they're putting this guy in a top position. I don't think they would care if they made him if they put him as a member of the Dark Order or some shit like that, or
but here's what they did. They put him in that position against Kenny Omega, but they also put him with the Don Callis family, right?
Right.
Well, he's in
the yes and. So you can be a main event potentially, but you're gonna be here in this Don Callis family. You're gonna be member number 27.
Yeah, but he's still dealing with Kenny Omega though. That's the thing.
Hold on, I'm playing now because let us rewind time.
Okay.
Andrade, because I'm gonna be an Andrade defender here. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's one reason why he wanted to go back to WWE in the first place? It wasn't even just about the Paul Levesque era.
Yeah.
He gave me my best push. My wife is over there.
Mhm.
I now don't have a wife over there.
Mhm.
And here's something I want you all to, because I was at the Rumble when he returned in 2024 in Tampa, who also returned that year, Naomi. And so look at their trajectories at the same time.
Mm.
There was definitely a divot off, and so maybe it was those infractions that divoted him off, because homie, they were going at the same pace, and then she started to rock it up, and he didn't really, and a lot of his storylines kind of followed off. The drama, there's their whole his personal life he had to deal with. I bet you he went to Tony and was like, "Hey, yo, I want to go back there, not just because of the push and all that. My wife is over there, man. I miss my wife, and I just want to be over there." And I bet you if he went to Tony like that as a man, it was just like, "Hey," and ended really on good terms with him. He went out on his back, losing to Rusev. I mean, to Miro at that one pay-per-view. So you tell me this. Cool. We saw the reaction to Andrade to come back with Kenny. That was good. Okay, this contract thing has happened. Cool. My partner then said something. My tag team partner said something. My brain then went to going. If you can't beat this case and you can't get that contract and this no compete removed, go to Japan, man. New Japan is starving for people, in my opinion. We are always starving for just extra people to add to the rock. You are a great wrestler. You go over there for a year. Go a Wrestle Kingdom to Wrestle Kingdom. You start around 20 and you end around 21, and then by World's End next year and at the end of 2026, you're already back on TV, debuting at that pay-per-view. He's going to be a bigger star for that, and he'll have that Japan buzz coming over with him that he'll be able to at least do something for the year. And yes, I know the currency is not the same as it used to be, and so New Japan's had a struggle signing people and whatnot, but when you trying to just get that buzz going, sometimes you have to take a hit.
Bro,
Yeah, but
Andrade got the energy, he's got the talent, but he does not have the this. And I think that's also something that hurt him in WWE. At least Don, you can't say Don ain't on TV. Don always on TV.
Yeah, and also the question I always ask with these guys is, does a guy in Andrade's situation, who's not young but not necessarily old either, he's kind of like in prime years for himself, does he even want to be in Japan for a year? That's the question he's gonna have to ask himself.
Hey, if that yen spins, brother, if that yen spins,
that's the thing. If they make it like lucrative for him, because I've seen guys all the time in wrestling when they hit Andrade's age and they don't necessarily want to be wrestling in Japan. They're like, I'll do it to get to level up, but if I can go to the next company, I would do that. Like AJ Styles didn't necessarily want to go to Japan when he went to Japan after TNA, but in Japan, he was able to kind of level up and make a bigger name for himself, and then go to WWE and make a killing there. So that's kind of like where Andrade is at the moment. And we'll see what happens, man. I mean, this is I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze to be going to court over this shit. If you're Tony Khan, because Tony Khan might want to do the same thing to another wrestler. He might want to be like, hey, I'm gonna hold you hostage for a year. So I don't know how these guys think, but this is a we'll know in a few months what if we don't see Andrade for until this time next year, we'll know what the decision was.
Here comes the money.
More some money.
Here comes the money.
What we got?
All right. So T. Anthony's back on it. Thank you for the $5 Canadian super chat. All that footage with Hernandez and the beatdown clown had to be scrapped. Don't know what he's.
Yeah, I think he was referring to the previous super chat above him.
Oh, okay. Well, that super chat is.
You're gonna do this Inception style.
All right. And, that was also brought by Brother T. Anthony. Thank you for the $10 super chat.
Yeah.
The Andrade situation is almost similar to Hernandez and TNA. You were right, Nate.
Right.
When he told them he was released from Lucha Underground, but never was officially given a release.
Yep, I remember that vividly.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that too. Yeah, and again, even in that situation, it really matters on what the company wants for you and what kind of precedents they want to set or don't set.
Yeah.
And Andrade that's just where he's at right now. Yeah, I mean,
Andrade's kind of the perfect litmus test for a case like this,
right? Yeah,
if you think about it, because as Downtown said, like, dude's got all the talent in the world. Like, yes, he maybe has a little bit of weakness when it comes to the mic work, but from the look, from the in ring, like, this dude can go, but he's not like anybody below Andrade's level. You definitely ain't going to court for. And then, like, anybody above Andrade's level, like, of course I'm going to court for that guy.
Right,
so
yeah,
Andrade,
exactly.
to me, is kind of the perfect test case. It's like,
yeah,
y'all willing to go to battle for this? Y'all willing to set precedent over this? It's your move, CK.
Yeah, that's the thing with me too. Is like he's like exactly like you just said, Nate. He's like the perfect like middle ground candidate to kind of test this
a mid-card marauder, if you will.
Right? Yeah. he's definitely somebody that's like where you really do have to. This is gonna take a lot of critical thinking out of TK's part, because it's like, do you want to throw money at this situation? If your dad looks at the books at the end of the year and saw you throw money at this shit, is he gonna be?
He re-signed Trevor Lawrence because you signed Andrade, man. Come on,
yeah. It's a lot to be. It's a lot to think about. Yeah, man. Like Rich was saying, they should have probably looked at the contract first.
Definitely.
You
gonna take this man word for it, cuz?
Right. I actually do think in an alternative universe, they probably did look at the contract and maybe glaring language didn't pop out of it, so they thought it was perfect to bring him back. But then WWE was like, the lawyer was like, nah, look at paragraph 2, section 7, and it was like, so that's why you can't do it. And the fact is like, this is only a legal dispute because WWE turned it into a legal dispute. If they didn't say anything about this shit, we'd all just be talking about how Andrade did at WrestleDream last night,
Yes.
But now it's a conversation because they're like, hey, we don't want you here, and and again, I think WWE is kind of weird too, because I think they see the value in Andrade. Like when Andrade was in Triple H's NXT, he was a favorite of his. He did get a good push. So I think Triple H knows he's valuable, but Triple H had other wrestlers in WWE that he thought was more valuable. So, and probably looked at his AEW run and saw it was nothing. So didn't see any harm in releasing him. But he obviously does see a little harm in releasing him if he's making a big fucking deal out of this shit,
Kind of like you with one of your 47 exes, Chris. Like when you break up, you want him to do good. Like you want her to do good, but you don't want to be watching the Lakers game and she courtside wearing the AD jersey. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, that's how.
Hold on a minute. This cannot stand.
Yeah. You don't want to see
levels to it.
You don't want to see the ex doing good in life. Yeah, it's like you dumped her, but you don't want to see her happy with the next guy. You want to.
Why is my ex Crip walking on my grave at the Super Bowl? Who could have seen such a thing coming?
Yeah. So
It's
yeah, I think that's what it is with Andrade. I really do think it's as simple as that shit, man. It's just,
Well, best of luck to Andrade, man. Because like we've all said, man, dude has talent, man. Hopefully he will be able to ply his trade for money sooner rather than later. But if for nothing else, Andrade, we hope you have a good night, brother, and we hope you have plenty of WrestleDreams.
Mm-hmm.
So if Tony pay for that court thing to get done, he gonna look at Andrade and say, "You better not act up."
Right.
You better not act up.
I bailed you out of WWE jail. You bet not.
Act up.
Don't say you say yes sir, no sir. That's the only thing you can say.
Yeah. And if they spend that kind of money, that would be the case. You say yes sir, no sir.
You're gonna be on the sideline at every Jacksonville Jaguars game.
Yeah.
Smiling too.
Let me hear you say Duval.
Right. Yeah. He if they hire him back and fight for this dude in court, he'll be on a very short leash.
Yes. But something that was not very short at all. Perfect segue, Chris. You threw it up and I took it to the hole.
Mm-hmm.
WrestleDream, y'all. So full disclosure, I've only seen WrestleDream in clip form because as has been mentioned before, I work 50, 60 hours a week and did not have the free time this past week to check out WrestleDream, man. So I will leave it up to the rest of the crew. Any thoughts on WrestleDream? I do have some thoughts on the build, which I'll sprinkle in as we talk about some of the highlights from the evening. But let's go first to main of upper mid card Jay Lacey. I almost made you a main eventer, but then like TK had to say to Andrade once he bails him out, hey, know your role, brother. Know your role. Upper mid card Jay Lacey. Thoughts on WrestleDream, my man?
I was about to say you had it right.
Someday, brother. Someday. Strive for that brass ring.
You know what? Yesterday was full of combat sports for me. I did catch the UFC card as well as the WrestleDream, and WrestleDream was a long, and we know this. AEW is like Black Church on Sunday. It's gonna be long.
I think somebody said that in the comments, Ray. Bring that comment up because that's so accurate for these damn AEW shows.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was Anwar or T. Anthony. Somebody said Derek, but somebody was like, AEW pay-per-view shows are like church, man. You got to go to Sunday school, regular service, old people service, the new member service.
No lies detected.
the building fund meeting, deacons meeting, choir practice. Like
you're gonna have an A, B, and C selection. You know what I mean? So, but here's the thing: we all know with AEW, they're gonna have a long show, but they're gonna deliver, and there weren't too many duds. So top to bottom, good show. But I mean, I'm sure we're gonna talk about the main event, and oh my gosh. Darby Allin and Jon Moxley. If you only saw it in clip form, consider yourself very fortunate, unless you like the gore. And I'm a person that, I mean, if I see like blood, all that kind of stuff, that doesn't make me, make my stomach turn or anything like that. But when you start like putting things in people's fingernails, oh my gosh!
I mean, they waterboarded. They waterboarded a motherfucker.
They sure did
on the pay-per-view. Like, what the fuck? I saw it this morning because I was at a party last night. Reva Martin had a charity event, and I was at that, and I went, and that's when I had my Z Biotics, so I was fresh to.
The brother was feeling good off that Z.
Right, yeah. So right. So when I woke up this morning, I actually felt pretty good. So I did Sid's show, and talked about it.
You was up with Sid on True Hill Heat?
Yeah. I did his show, and it was like, again, it was a really good pay-per-view. It just the issue was more so with the pacing of the show, because even when Darby won, the show just kind of abruptly ended. Sorry, I'm looking for my laptop charger, but the show just abruptly ended, and that was an issue with it. But as far as the show, it was a fire show. I didn't even know that I didn't care about the Darby Moxley match going into it. But the match itself was really like spectacular. And Old Man Sting, that was very cool to see, and it's another incarnation of the Sting character, from Joker Sting, the Crow Sting, the Surfer Sting. And now we got like Old Man Sting, now we got the older, wiser, grayer, has a long Santa beard Sting,
Guardian Sting, like he's just been on the mountain waiting for Darby to need his help.
Yeah.
Took long enough.
Surfer Sting.
Yeah, he's like one of the old surfer heads. When I used to surf, I used to see those cats at the beach too. The old surfers.
The old surfers.
Yeah.
I just imagine Chris on the surfboard just cussing at the waves every 5 minutes.
Yeah, that was one of the that was one of the only sports I could do when I got diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, because all you have to do is kind of steady yourself on the board, so it didn't require a whole lot of walking and shit. But yeah, man. That's a culture, man. That's a
Chris was out there with Bodie from Point Break.
Point Break, yeah. Yeah.
I can see Chris with the little puka shell necklace, like, well, you're really opening my eyes to this, Bodie. What are you doing with that Richard Nixon mask, Bodie?
One last surf, yeah.
Point Break. I haven't seen like the remake, but the original still holds up, man.
It was decent. Actually, it's not as good as the original one, but I do think that I don't think the Point Break remake was complete garbage. It wasn't great, but it wasn't.
It wasn't embarrassing.
Yeah, it wasn't the original.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gerard Brown, thoughts on WrestleDream, brother?
I'm gonna echo it because it almost took me out this morning. WrestleDream almost gave me another dream because it was too long. I love a lot of the match. I love the opening to the pay-per-view and the fact that it's still the pre-show match that's still going on and they're fighting during the fireworks. I'm like, makes me feel like, did I miss something? What am I walking into? Like, I like that energy.
That's
a lot of the opening matches that we had. I just, that main event was just something else to me. And I not in a good way for me. I just, it hit a point of like, I was just good. And then we just ended it with a Scorpion Deathlock. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
No,
I watched the man be literally murdered I had a friend over and she was just she kept looking away from the screen. Like, yo, what are you, like, why are we and I
watching this snuff film
to a show? And she literally said, after I took her to an AEW show and then to a WWE show, she's like, oh, I love this WWE show, man. It's brighter. This is friendlier. This is this. It's that.
Yeah.
Like when we have that kind, and like when you're pushing me away, and I'm like, because I'm not here to watch a horror movie. I'm here to watch an I Quit match. And when you're killing somebody half to death, like how are they supposed to I quit?
You can't unquit that.
I like that. I like the way he quit, because to me, that's how you quit him. That's how an I Quit match should go, because he had already gone through all that shit, And I forgot what Darby Allin was about to do. After about 30 minutes of that shit, it made sense to say, "Look, I quit. I don't want to do this anymore." Because it reminded me of the JBL John Cena match when John Cena, Cena had already had JBL down, and I forgot what Cena was about to do to him.
Use a tailpipe to push him through a window, through a glass sheet.
Yeah, that's what it was. And he's I'm good off that. And that's what Moxley did. So I had no problem with that. I thought it was.
I agree with you, but the difference in that match is Cena and JBL beat the hell out of each other to that point.
Yeah.
John Moxley and the Death Riders beat the hell out of Darby Allin, and Darby Allin tapped him up with a bat and then tapped him. Like, I'm sorry, like yes, the coffin drop but it's nothing compared to what Darby should not be alive. Like Darby, like in my and what I like in wrestling, I like a Sami Zayn getting power bombed down the apron and now he's gone for a month. I like a injury angle. I see the same Darby. I'll stick to the same company. Darby got thrown down some stairs and then didn't show up for months. Months. This man was literally thrown through tables with a Death Rider. This man was
he was yeeted across the arena. They yeeted him out of the arena from the ring to the announce table.
Not this way, you son of a bitch! Like Tony Schiavone had to crack it up with that line. Not this way, but and then he took. I know what it's like to get a whooping. That man got a whooping. On top of a whooping, with the whelps bleeding, to be thrown, to be Death Rider, to be waterboarded. Oh, bat. Give me them legs. Come here. Okay, he's tapping. I'm sorry. It's not the same, Chris. It's not the same. And it went way too long. It should have been either last man, because it looked like a last man standing match at times. Because John would get done, walk away and be like, oh, he looked like he looked to the ref and be like, count it, ref. Like, and I know he said, I quit, but like the man is a slump booty. Like, face down, ass up. How he supposed to say anything?
You said he was a 2 Live Crew song.
Yeah, I only saw it in clip form. Okay, so I think hearing y'all talk about the full match, the full display that was put on by these two men, I think the clip form worked better for me, Chris, because it was shorter and condensed, but then you got all the hits, and it's like, oh wow, that was crazy, that's visceral. Oh shit, Sting's back, my man. Oh, tapped him out. Oh, that was a good ass match right there. But I think if I had to sit through 40 minutes of these dudes like torturing each other, or specifically Mox torturing Darby, like I think it may have like come across as a little gratuitous. Like it reminds me of I think it was like maybe the first or second AEW pay-per-view, and it was Moxley and Kenny. Remember when they brought out like the spider web bed of tacks and nails or whatever, a barbed wire. Like it just like it's getting a little too much, fellas. A little too much.
Yeah. But and in St. Louis,
all right. We got a message from Brother Derek Mitchell. Thank you for the $10 super chat. We witnessed an Al Qaeda style waterboarding with Mox and Darby. What's next? Russian roulette? People like to compare Tony Khan's tastes to ECW, but it's more of a tribute to FMW.
Yeah, you could make that argument. I could see that. I will say this about the waterboarding. So in Kansas, or not St. Louis, they could not use fire in the arena. That's why you didn't see any fire in the match. So I guess the alternative to that was water.
What's the opposite of fire? Water.
Yeah. So they did the waterboard and shit. Yeah, I prefer not seeing waterboarding in my sports, but you know,
put that on the t-shirt, Dickie Bird. I prefer not to see waterboarding in my sports, Chris Healy.
Yeah, but you know, it's like, look, this is AEW's brand. This is what you're gonna get when you watch an AEW pay-per-view. And when they do these kinds of matches, it's everything but the kitchen sink. Sometimes it's including the kitchen sink. This match included an aquarium, and it included waterboarding, man. I mean, like, and you're either gonna be squeamish and turned off by this, or you're gonna be like, yo, this is the greatest thing I ever saw, and you're gonna watch the pay-per-view next month. You know, it's one of those things. I thought the show was good though. The overall show, the overall pay-per-view, I was satisfied. I did feel bad for Mina. She looked like a dweeb on the show, losing the interim TV title of all things. But outside of that, I thought it was an overall show. I'm actually looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with the Hurt Syndicate,
Okay.
the trios title match, and then also we didn't talk about Samoa Joe and his match with Hangman Page. That was an excellent match, and I thought the Samoa, it was a heel turn you kind of saw coming, but the way they did it with Powerhouse Hobbs, which you can make the argument, you could either say it defines Powerhouse Hobbs down, and that would be a valid argument, or you could say he wasn't really doing anything on TV anyway, and this heel turn puts him at a level where he's gonna be on TV. So that's a good thing, you know. And then the guy that they said that the guy, what's the third ops guy?
Shibata,
yeah. That Shibata, this is his first time being a heel in like 11 or 12 years. So I guess it's surprising from that standpoint. But yeah, I was overall I was satisfied. I wouldn't give I give this show like an 8, maybe 8.5. But I thought it was a decent show.
Okay, let's talk about that match a little bit more because I did want to hit on 3 matches in particular. Obviously, we just talked about Darby and Mox. I want to hit on Tony and Stat here in a little bit. But Jay, what were your thoughts on Samoa Joe versus Outlaw Ron Bass?
I think Roman Reigns and Cowboy Bob Orton did a phenomenal job, especially with Samoa Joe. I mean, just dragging him through deep waters. And the heel turn I did see coming. I mean, that's on brand for Samoa Joe. You know, bringing the ops into it with Shibata being now we're supposed to boo Shibata, especially with the story that he's got. I'm not gonna boo for him. I'm not gonna boo. I'm not gonna boo the ops just because. I mean, I like all 3 characters. You know, this is on brand for Samoa Joe. You know, he lost, and he's like he still doesn't feel like the better man won. So I think they did a good job of storytelling, and we'll see. I'm interested and curious to see what happens. I think, and I'm hoping that Samoa Joe actually comes out of this feud with the AEW World Title because I like the story he was telling last year or last time he had the belt. He was the world what was he saying, like the champion of the world, the television or something like that. And that whole character arc right there was very. I liked it. I think there's more legs to it, and I'm very curious to see how they can bring that back into to current day.
I agree. Yeah,
Gerard, what did you think about High Chief Peter Maivia versus Blackjack Mulligan?
It was good. It went the exact way I expected it to go. I did not see. I mean, match result wise, I didn't see the heel turn coming personally, because I thought the story would be Joe being so focused on the world title that it would cost him the trios title, which then would get Hobbs angry at Joe for being distracted with other things. Now that we go on the route of everybody jumping on Hangman, I don't know. It intrigues me more for the Hurt Syndicate side than it does for the world title side, because in my personal opinion, it's either going to be an MJF or it's going to be a Darby that's going to get that belt off of Hangman, in my opinion. And I'm leaning more towards Darby because I like my route of Darby to MJF to Bobby Lashley. I like that little 3 title change route. So I like Joe as a continuation to keep Hangman going for a feud. And on the mic wise, I think they could go a lot harder and do a lot more. So I would love to see that out of them, and maybe put a stipulation with this next match, because we saw a really good wrestling match on WrestleDream, but now I want to see like a good brawl or fight. And Hangman's, hey, maybe it's time to dust off the Texas Death. It's been a couple of months. He loves his Texas Death matches, so why not? Let's throw that up on the gambit.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was a solid match, man. I'm always intrigued when Samoa Joe is motivated, man.
Right, yeah.
Like he shows you he still got the goods, man. He still got some left in the tank, and I'm intrigued, man. Like to Jay's point, like you want me to boost Shibata in the year of our Lord 2025? That's what we doing, TK. And I am intrigued at the Hobbs of it all, because to Chris's point, this could be something that elevates Hobbs, or he could kind of fade into the background. So I want to see what kind of care they take with Powerhouse in this storyline. But let's talk about another match here. The last of the big three matches, in my opinion, because this is a match. What we got, Ray Williams?
All right, so we got brother Derek Mitchell again. Thank you for the $10 super chat. He says this is the third AEW pay-per-view where Paige has faced a title holder, MJF, who was the CMLL champion, Kyle Fletcher, who was the TNT champion, and Samoa Joe, who's 1/3 of the Trios champions. Who will be next at Full Gear?
I think they're just gonna. I think at Full Gear they're just gonna run it back with Joe, and Hangman, just because of what the story they told last night.
Yeah.
I got no problem with that. I don't know if the thing I love the most about Samoa Joe is if you put him in a main event match, he's got like instant credibility. This is how it was for him in TNA, in WWE, and in AEW. It's like when you wanted the match to feel special and you wanted a credible opponent, especially for a face. Joe was always the guy you put in that match, like even the match. I still I still kind of lament him not getting a proper WWE world title run when he was there, because I thought he was on that trajectory. But that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, I think they're just going to run it back next month with him and Joe. I don't think they're going to, I think Hangman is going to have the belt for a little while. But yeah, if you ask me to make a prediction for Full Gear, I think they run it back with Joe and Hangman.
Yeah, I tend to agree, especially the way the story is kind of dictating. But speaking of story, man, let's talk about a story that it's been one of the weirdest builds to me personally in wrestling recently, where I think everything they've done technically and fundamentally with the storytelling was spot on, but it just didn't connect with me. And that's because one of the performers involved gave a great performance, but it's like, I don't know who you are. And that's Toni Storm and Chris Statlander. Everybody know who this woman, Timeless Toni Storm, is. Chris Statlander, though, is a bit of an enigma. Chris Statlander kind of feels like tofu, and not the great tofu that you can get at Teriyaki Madness, folks. Get a side of fried tofu for only $5.99 with your next purchase online for Teriyaki Madness. Code word advocates. Come on, people. There's money to be made here with these gentlemen and myself with the Nefarious Media Network. But the thing about tofu, if y'all ain't big tofu eaters, I was not a big tofu eater until recently when I saw the light and had me some tofu from Teriyaki Madness that tasted like pork belly. And I'm like, tofu can do this? I didn't know you had that in your bag, tofu. I'm sorry. I was unfamiliar with your game, tofu. But the thing about tofu, Ray, I don't know if you know, tofu is something that takes on the flavor and characteristics of whatever it is ingrained with.
Yeah. So
if you put tofu with some stir fry, it's going to taste like the rest of the stir fry. If you fry it up and season it up and make it taste like pseudo pork belly, it's going to take on the characteristics of pork belly, Gerard. And I feel like that with Stat. Like, Stat's a great performer. We all love and respect Stat. But it's like, I don't feel like I'm being given agency from this character. Like, is you bad? Is you good? You hanging out with Harley Cameron? You had your little brief dalliance with Stoke. You beefing with this person, you're beefing with that person. Is you and Willow still cool? What's going on there? Like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this lady, man. And so, like, while there's nothing wrong with Stat in ring from bell to bell, I just can't get on board personally. And this may just be a Nate thing. This may just be a me thing. I just can't get on board personally from like a character standpoint where I'm like, yes, I understand that character's motivations, and whether I agree or disagree, I'm down for that character because they have shown me that this is what this person is about, as opposed to somebody like Tony Storm, who's goofy and crazy and all over the place, but there is something centered and grounded in the midst of all that goofiness and craziness that I can understand and connect to with timeless Tony Storm. So great match between the two of them, as we knew it would be. But I'm still out. The jury is still out, and I am the jury in this case. A jury of one, which is the worst kind of jury you can ever have, ladies and gentlemen. You need at least 3 people in a jury, I think. But I am still out on Chris Statlander as the world champion, not in terms of her like not being good enough or not being a good enough performer to be in this role. It's just it hadn't connected with me in the way that Tony Storm connects with me, in the way that Hangman Adam Page connects with me, in the way some of these other champions have connected with me in AEW's history. So what did y'all think about the match, and what do y'all think about Stat as the flag bearer and the standard bearer for the women's division right now? And we can start with let's start with Downtown.
So I get with trying to have the belt on her, having like a youth movement and trying to help promote and push the next generation of folks. I don't think Stat was ready for it when she won it in that 4-way. In my opinion, though it made sense for her to do it, it also made sense for her to be turning heel and like aligning with the Death Riders at this point, in my opinion. It would at least gave her some type of identity. It would have gave her something to center this reign around. She came out with the 2 guys and they're taking her gear off, and like who are the 2 guys? What is she? She's throwing up a hand pose that looks like the Undisputed Era hand pose. I'm like, okay, like you could be a heel right now, and I think this would be a little bit better. I genuinely see, sadly, her about to lose that belt to Monet, like, because like she feels very blandish, in my opinion. Like Tony Storm, like I agree, Tony Storm is a great character, and the whole storyline is, oh, we're gonna find out now who you are without the gold. Well, like she's gonna go down the road of a heel turn. Tony Storm is, but. A slow heel turn, because I think they're going to get to the finals of the tag team tournament with Mina, because she was giving some looks with Mina during that hug. Mina was like, no, we haven't lost everything. We have each other. And she was like, nah. Tony was like, nah, I done lost it all, but okay. We will see where this goes.
I'm on the run, G.
And when Mina drops the bag in the finals of that tag tournament, I think that's going to be the curtain drop for Tony.
CMB, Nino, remember?
That's the thing, though. I can futuristically think for her. I can't think for anything for Tony for Chris, because I don't know what Chris. I genuinely don't know what Chris is supposed to be. I don't know how to predict where Chris is supposed to go besides losing it to Monet. Like I don't see her coming out grander than her TV. Like this looks and feels like her TBS title reign, in my opinion. Do you remember that?
I do remember that. I actually. Because at the end, the TBS title reign wasn't anything to be desired. I actually think she's beating Mercedes next month. I think that's the story that they're telling. I could be wrong, but it just seems like.
I hope you're wrong, Chris, for once.
Well, I want to be wrong too, but it seems the story that they're telling. And I do think Mercedes is eventually gonna win the AEW World Title. I think that because the way they've done Chris Statlander, I wasn't that gung-ho on her winning the belt in a multi-woman match. I'm just never a fan of that. But this month they had her beat the woman that had the belt. And I think that establishes credibility after you win it in a fluky way in a multi-woman match. The fact that you now beat the champion can no longer complain and say, hey, you never beat me, because she did beat you. So now she's got that. and then next month, if she beats Mercedes, dare I say, even have them main event the pay-per-view, and she wins, I think that establishes her as kind of like a formidable person in the women's division, right? Because I think she's got credibility as a good hand, a solid worker, but to get the credibility of this is a person that the fans should take seriously, I think she gets that by beating Mercedes.
Can I
Jay
ask
Lacey.
a quick question?
Oh, go ahead, Gerard.
Is she the one who should have won that fatal 4-way?
I mean,
is she the one who should have took it off of Tony in the first place?
That's a Monday morning quarterbacking thing. No, she shouldn't.
It'll be Monday morning in about an hour and a half, Chris.
Yeah. But it's happened, and I've moved on past that shit.
You've accepted it.
Yeah. It's like the brothers that complain about reparations.
Like we ain't never gonna get it.
If we get it, it'd be nice. But I'm not complaining about that shit no more. If it happens, it happens. And it would have been nice if she didn't win it in the first place. But this is how my table is set. I can either eat the bland ass fried chicken as is, or put some Louisiana hot sauce on it and try to make it go down.
Little Zatarans, keep it popping.
Yeah, get some Zatarans, something, man. And that's how it is. But nah, she should. To answer the question, the short answer is nah, she shouldn't have won it. But this is where we're at.
Jay Lacey, what are your thoughts on Tofu Tammy on these streets? Our girl Chris Statlander.
I mean, she's self-aware enough that she even knows this. I mean, I looked at the media scrum after WrestleDream last night for a little bit, and she even acknowledged it that she's still trying to figure out who her character is, and so she's basically and you guys will understand this analogy. She's basically flying a plane and still building it at the same time. So she's basically trying to figure herself out in this whole thing, right? So. Is she learning, at a high level on the job? Yeah, absolutely she is. I mean, her in-ring, we're not going to badmouth that. She can do that all day.
Yeah.
It's in terms of the character and the character development, she needs to decide exactly who she is, who she wants to portray, and how she wants to represent herself, and go 100% with that. Don't half step in this alien thing. Don't half step in this. I want to be this bad chick or whatever. Be you. And whoever you are, we're either going to love it or hate it, and just be happy with it, whatever that is.
Right. Yeah.
But I do think everything that was laid out from last night with Mercedes Moné, I think Moné is getting another belt.
All right. I hope so. I pull for Mercedes. This is what I will say about Chris Statlander is that sometimes in wrestling it's not the first title reign that establishes you. This is how it was with Ric Flair. This is how it was with Bret Hart. This is how it's been with Hangman Page, because his first title reign wasn't anything. This is the title reign that's gonna make his career going forward. And Chris Statlander, this could be, if she loses to Mercedes next month, then you could just say you could say this title reign was a beta test, and then maybe on the next title reign she gets, it'll be the one that establishes her as somebody serious rather.
Okay.
Why are we doing that during the first world title? I hear you about these reigns, but you can say Hangman's first reign was nothing, but that was the big completion of AEW's first huge long story. That was something.
Yeah, at least there was a good story behind it.
He was a character that was formed when he got to that point, when he did it. MJF winning the belt was a character formed and ready to go at that point. I can't hear that, man. Like I John Moxley. Maybe we didn't know what it was for the Death Riders, but every other time he's won that belt, we've known John Moxley, the character. Tony Storm won the belt with the Outcast, and yes, losing the belt shifted her and changed her into Timeless. But when she won the belt again as Timeless, it was just she moved differently. I hear you on the second reign, but the first reign needs to be something too.
Well,
and it's not. Like,
there's still time for it to be something. It's not like it's over with. We got another month.
It's not kicking off. That's the thing. Like, it's not kicking off that way, and we have people like Willow who is set and ready to go. She's not discovering who she is. Wifey already know what she got to do. She already know where she at. Like, then you have a division. Athena already know who she is. It could have had the belt last month.
You naming all these Miak and SWAC teams.
Jamie Hayter was in the Fatal 4-Way and is a former champion and could have benefited from getting that belt. She won. She won at WrestleDream. That could have been her first defense. Getting the toxic spider off her back. There are other people that could have been in that spot and would have been right and ready for it right away. Monet. Whoever you want me to throw up in there. Anybody else could have took that before. Not you don't do it. Like, at least Megan Bain, she has a character. I know what if Megan Bain would have beat her for that belt, I at least understand she's supposed to be this goddess-like character, and that's what she's sticking to. I don't need the Rolodex of characters, but also I don't even feel like I feel the Rolodex of characters. It just feels kind of like Aldi mac and cheese. Kraft mac and cheese is great, y'all. Don't get the Aldi version unless that's what you get. If that's what you own. But like, just get that 40 more cents if you can, and you get that Kraft, and just go hit a little bit harder. I need her to be like Kraft. I need you to hit a little bit harder.
Unless Aldi wants to sponsor us, then all bets is off.
I just left Aldi that day. I love me some Aldi. Don't sleep on those.
Hey, Aldi save a lot. Hey, holla at your boys.
Hey, do you like to save money on your groceries? Do you like name brand prices? Do you like to be a little nefarious with how you get your cart?
Okay.
Well, come on down to Aldi, where if you don't have a quarter, get ready to carry all your groceries in the box. But nonetheless, we got great prices for you. We don't have you don't use a code there, but hey, sponsored by
but yeah, I think what you said about what Chris said in the post show at the press conference, Jay, like that. And again, this is not to slander Statlander. You know, this is more an indictment on the creative, because it's like, yo, this lady should not be at the press conference after defending her title, talking about I'm still trying to figure out my character. Like, the character should already be figured out before she got that belt. And so that's something, again, she could beat Mercedes. It's out there. It's a possible outcome of that match. I don't want to see it, though, and it's not anything negative towards Chris. But again, with characters, we know who Mercedes Moné, the CEO, is. I don't have to try to read between the lines. I don't have to decipher or try to figure out what is the motivation of the CEO. What is she after? This lady with all these belts on. What is she after, Chris? I'm having a hard time trying to identify this woman's process. Like, no, we know what Mercedes is about. We know Tony Storm is about. We know what a lot of these players are about. But with Chris Statlander, again, it's tofu. And tofu can be delicious if you put it in the right setting. But right now it's just kind of like this that bland tofu, man. I'm not really rocking with it right now, Chris.
Yeah. And I'm one of those people. If you give me tofu and not meat, we probably got a problem. Just give me the real stuff. But I will say this about Statlander. I don't know. I'm probably the only one on this island, but I thought that was her character. I thought her character was just someone that didn't know who she was and lucked into the title. That's kind of what I thought the character was when she won the belt, and that's why I was able to accept it. Because if you remember when I reviewed that show with y'all, I was like, in the beginning, I wasn't really feeling it, but once I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I can accept this. So that's
Mm.
kind of where I'm at with this now. I don't think she's been spectacular with the belt, but I don't necessarily even think she was that the design for her was ever to be spectacular with the belt.
Mm.
And I do think, for me at least, I don't know about anybody else, but just for myself, the litmus test is going to come next month at Full Gear. If she loses that match, we will know that this was meant to be a nothing run. You know, I don't think she'll lose the belt because she failed as a women's champ. I think she would have lost the belt because she was supposed to fail as a women's champ. And I know that's my opinion on that. And if she wins, then maybe TK has grander designs. And if she does win, he's going to have to step up to the plate with her, man.
Yep.
He's going to have to either should or get off the pot.
So right now you saying she may be transitional tofu, which is a tofu that nobody really wants, man.
Right, yeah. Well, I don't want any tofu, but
hey, Chris, hold on. Much like you, brother, I was negative on the prospect of tofu until my eyes had seen the glory of the tofu at Teriyaki Madness. Yes, Teriyaki Madness, available in 24 states and coming to more states each and every day. Go to Teriyaki Madness and use the code word advocates for 15%. Yes, 15% off your first order, and be sure to get a side of that delicious pork belly teriyaki tofu. Tell them the advocate sent you.
Yeah, maybe
Code word
it's
Statlander.
Code word Statlander.
Maybe it's not.
That'll
like,
be your
I had
identity, Chris.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Chris. I don't know if there's got to be teriyaki madnesses in LA, man.
No, but we've got places where they do those modifications to the
get you the modifications, dog.
Yeah,
take you some Z-Biotic, get you a ZB, get that pulled pork teriyaki tofu, and see if it don't change your attitude, brother.
Right, yeah, because when my ex-girlfriend, she was really
number 43.
Yeah, something like that.
Literally 3.
This is my 2007 to 2008 girlfriend.
Okay, the ruthless aggression era.
Yeah. She was really big on like the vegan diets and tofu and all that shit. And at first it was good, but then when you eat the tofu and that's what you're eating, it's fine. But then when you eat the real meat, it's like, why was I eating this tofu nonsense? You know? For me, that's how it was, you know. It's like, why am I eating like stuff that's supposed to taste like a steak when I could have just
be eating a steak,
you know? So, and this is not a knock against vegans, you know.
Sorry, Ray.
If you're a vegan and you're eating meat substitutes all the time, that just shows you where you're at with your vegan walk.
Damn, you saying there's some backsliding vegans out there.
I'm just saying, man. If you're a vegan and everything that you eat that's vegan has to taste like meat, how committed to you I'm committed to the vegan cause are you? You know,
well, it's less about the flavor and more about
defend yourself, Ray.
No, I want to hear the rest of this. Go ahead.
That's crazy.
It's less about the flavor for some people and more for like the texture profiles, like and so like they're used to having something with that particular texture that they're used to eating, and you don't want to eat steak because steaks kill you over time, Chris.
Everything can kill you over time.
I'll say everything is killing us, Ray.
A mushroom, steak flavored mushroom ain't gonna kill you.
Jack LaLanne only ate like meat and veggies and how old was he? Like 97 when he died. So I mean, there are people that eat meat. The problem with eating meat is never eating meat. It's eating like the processed meat and eating like all the stuff. Like if you're someone that like hunts and kills deer and eats that shit, that's going to be more healthy than what you get at like the grocery store where they put it through like the corporate farming process, you know?
You got to kill your own food, Ray.
Right. Yeah, I don't do that anymore. So
You don't have to kill plants; they just there.
I mean, technically,
yeah,
you do have to kill plants.
you have to kill them. You have to pick them from the roots.
Like, what is we doing, Ray? Like are you saying when you eat a carrot, the carrot's just like, okay, I'm going down now. Thanks, Ray.
And there's actually science behind all of this. Vegetables are always trying to protect themselves, right? That's why you got vegetables that release certain like poisons and shit to you. Because
I don't know why that just made me laugh. Like, so you say, hold on, Chris, let's break it down. You are the professor. Let's get scientific. So you saying vegetables don't want to be eaten, like they try to protect themselves against being eaten.
Yes, that's actually a fact. I didn't even realize this until I was taking a botany class a long time ago, and they said that this is what plants do. You know, that's why you get certain plants that have like thorns, and you know, like cactus has like all that shit on it because it doesn't want to be eaten. It wants to be a plant chilling, you know. And
Ray, you killing all these plants, Ray.
Fake news. Fake news.
See, everybody
learning
says
botany and you're supposed to be taking up politics. That don't make no sense.
Everybody this is the thing. We can all rationalize our diets to make sense to us, you know. Like I could rationalize eating steak and shit. I used to not eat steak. I used to not eat red meat for the longest time, but then my neurologist told me that I wasn't getting a proper amount of I don't know if it was iron or whatever she said I wasn't getting, but I need to eat red meat again. So I started eating red meat again in about 2016.
Okay.
And then
PG
so I just
era.
So it's one of those things with these diets and shit. Do what works for you, but
Ray. There's a reason you gotta cook your veggies, dog. Because you can't eat them when they're alive, Ray. That's not how it works. That's not nature. That's not nature, Ray.
But Google
straight off you just got to rinse that joint off.
So what you saying? Okay, so now you admit it, Ray. Thank you for walking into my trap. Thank you for walking into the briar patch, Brer Rabbit. So what you saying is you violently ripped that carrot away from his family. That carrot had a family, by God, and you just put him in the water. You waterboard him like he's Darby Allin, and then you eat him, Ray. You eat him, ejectocito.
Look at that.
Or you might skewer him like John Moxley.
If you look at grains, and there's so many allergens in like grains and like stuff like that these animals or these plants are trying not to get eaten. That's they don't.
Life.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you found your next clip, Ray. This is this month's clip.
Another trip to Tangent Town.
Welcome to Tangent Town. But we gonna leave AEW. Any final thoughts on AEW though, real quick? WrestleDream, the state of AEW. Gerard, any final thoughts?
No, I thought the show was all the matches were really good. Just a lot of them were just very long, and I wish they would just trim a lot on a lot of that, because I mean, by the tag team championship match, I was satisfied. I didn't need anything else.
Okay,
like we could have cut the show there. That's a solid pay-per-view. I think they could learn from finding a middle road of 6-7 matches, like tightened up. Leave some of them to have that spectacle, but not everything needs to be a long match. Like, I don't know. That's my only issue. Just shave off something. Everything doesn't need to be a spectacle. The $500,000 match doesn't need to be a spectacle.
Right.
Like, but they are bringing tag team wrestling.
You got a super chat?
Yes. I think we had a couple. Yep. So Friend of the show, Anwar Starwin. Shout out, brother. DMV.
Shout out.
Thank you for the $2 super chat. When is Willow going to stop being on the back burner? And then we had Derek Mitchell again with another super chat. Thank you for
Appreciate
the $5, brother Derek. We know Monet is bringing back, we know Monet is bringing baked macaroni and cheese for dinner. Not sure what Statlander is bringing. Maybe potato salad with raisins.
Could have went with the green bean casserole, but dang.
Oh man, Jay, any final thoughts on AEW? As Gerard expressed, your pay-per-view should not be as long as the typical episode of the NWA podcast. Jay, any thoughts on WrestleDream or anything else with AEW before we move topics?
Nah, top down, solid show. One thing I do not want to see on Wednesday is Darby Allin. He needs to be gone for at least 2 months. I mean, with that beatdown that he endured, I mean,
he was just gone though, Jay. He was on the mountain for 6 months.
I'm just saying, this dude got tased. He got tortured.
Damn, I forgot he got tased. I forgot that part.
Yeah. Dude got tased, and I don't need to see him for a few weeks. All right, and beat
this Bama came back. Remember when that final Sting match? This Bama went through panes of glass and still came back. Like, there ain't no stop. This brother is a Terminator. He got 9 lives like a cat. I think he lost one of them on Mount Everest. This brother is gonna keep on coming back.
He said, "I still got 8."
Yeah, right.
I think that hike was safer than this match. In all honesty.
Oh, Chris, any final thoughts on AEW, the state of AEW, WrestleDream, anything before we change course, brother?
Yeah, no, I thought the show was fine. When rights deals come up in a couple of years, we'll know the state of AEW. I would say AEW is not shortening those pay-per-views. That's TK is not doing that. I've sat on media scrum calls with this guy where he's asked about that. They're not shortening the pay-per-view. So that dream is dead and buried. What I will say though is that they should consider doing the daytime pay-per-views regularly, because I think a pay-per-view that's as long as WrestleDream hits differently when you're watching it in the afternoon, and it, when it's afternoon turning into evening instead of evening turning into the next morning, so hopefully they get that shit out of the way. But I think AEW's in good standing right now. I think if the biggest complaint is the Statlander match and Darby Allin coming back, I think they're doing okay. Okay. So that was our thoughts on AEW's WrestleDream. If you have any thoughts, drop them in the chat. We'll bring them up as Ray sees fit. But fellas, before we head back to the WWE and talk about Crown Jewel, I feel like before that, we got to talk about this money real quick. What we got, Ray Williams?
All right. Brother Derek Mitchell, thank you for the $5 super chat.
Appreciate you.
I did hear that.
Did you hear Tony Schiavone ask Nigel and Excalibur if they'd been tased? He said Ole Anderson tased him back in 1990.
If you give me some more context on that, I'll answer it fully. You did pay for the super chat, so I want to address it well. I just need to.
I heard it during the pay-per-view. It's during the commentary. When they cool. The taser.
He said Ole tasered him.
Yeah, he said that Ole Anderson tased him in the 90s.
Okay, cool.
And that was like them original tasers too.
New age.
None of these new age millennial tasers. That was some
this new age electricity we have over here. The old electricity.
They couldn't regulate the voltage back then. It was one setting. You getting shocked, brother.
Gotta stop moving. Calm down.
Like you seen what we did with Goldberg. This streak is over.
Ended the whole streak.
What you think it's gonna do to you, Shivani? We're out of time, Oli. But yes, appreciate that super chat, brother. Good comment. But I think it's time we take a little moment, maybe even a minute, Ray Williams, before we move to talking about the WWE, because I think about things often, and wrestling kind of weaves into sports, it weaves into politics, and sometimes it even weaves its way into music. And if y'all fellas don't mind, I think we need to take a pause for the cause, because Ray Williams, it's time once again, even though it's only the second time we've ever done this, for the Motown Minute, brother. Hey, all you cool cats and hot mamas. Once again, it's time for the hippest trip in pro wrestling. It's the Motown Minute, presented by the NWA Podcast. Can you dig it? Right on. Woo, top tier production work from the team here. But yes, it is time for the Motown Minute, and this is a Motown Minute that also serves as a plug for a future episode that can be found on the Nefarious Media Patreon, because some of y'all remember last year, Brent Chittenden and I had a limited release podcast called Kung Fu Island, where each episode, Brent and I talked about a different Kung Fu movie. Our final episode, we talked about Enter the Dragon, guest starring W.H. Park. And then those episodes were found on the Nefarious Media Network feed, as well as Brent's True North Nerds feed. But we're coming back soon, eventually, someday, with season 2 of Kung Fu Island. And I can announce it here, fellas. The first movie we're going to review, possibly with Chris Ely, is Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon. You are the one of the greatest Kung Fu movies of all time, produced by Barry Gordy, head of Motown. And my trivia note, my Motown Minute, goes back to The Last Dragon, because we all know, some of you, a few of you, know that the star of The Last Dragon was an unknown actor, a martial artist who had never acted before, named Taimak.
Mm-hmm.
Taimak, one of the beige forefathers of karate.
Yeah.
But he was not the only choice to play the role of Bruce Leroy. This is something I learned doing research for this upcoming episode, Gerard. Did you know that there were 3 primary contenders other than Taimak to play the lead role in The Last Dragon? And it's going to blow your mind, fellas. Because these 3, I think they would all kill it. I don't know how they fit in this movie, though. It feels beneath them, but also somehow right for one of these in particular. But the 3 people that were in the running along with Taimak were Lawrence Fishburne, Denzel Washington, and the guy who I think, if not for Taimak, I would have given it to him, Wesley Blade Snipes.
Oh,
Interesting.
Whew. Would any of those have worked for you better than Taimak, Chris?
I don't think so. The reason I think Taimak worked the best is because he was such a novice actor that you didn't really see in a bunch of stuff. And he had like a vulnerability to him that I don't think exists with Wesley Snipes or Denzel Washington.
You ain't never seen Tu Wong Fu, brother?
I love Tu Wong Fu. Hopefully one day we can review that movie.
Yes.
But yeah, I just don't. Taimak is an actor that just he's kind of under the radar as far as what he brings to characters, and I think that vulnerability is probably why the only thing of note he's done is The Last Dragon. He did that episode of A Different World where he's trying to take advantage of Freddie, but like he really hasn't done it. He was on the ROH role. Yeah. He was on ROH for a second too, teaming with Jimmy Wayne Yang. So that's the wrestling connection with him.
Yes, there is a wrestling connection here, folks.
Yeah, but I don't. But yeah, I think the best actor for that role, because Denzel, I just don't see Denzel.
I can't see Denzel as as Bruce Leroy.
Right, and then I don't. And the way that Bruce Leroy's little brother kind of punks him out in that movie from every once in a while, I don't see that happening with a Wesley Snipes or a Lawrence Fishburne. I think
Not Furious Styles.
Yeah. I think with a Timock has the I think he has the he doesn't have an ego, so that could play well in a movie that he's in, not with those other guys. But that's interesting to think about what it could have been if one of those guys would have played that role.
Yes. I'll bring up Brent's comment in the chat while I talk a little bit about what Chris just said, Ray, because Brent is dedicated. Brent is here for this episode of Kung Fu Island. The man is so dedicated. He paid Canadian dollars for the Blu-ray of The Last Dragon. I don't know who in Canada is selling the damn Last Dragon and don't feel like CanCon, but Brent is dedicated to this episode. So Kung Fu Island Season 2 coming soon-ish. To the Nefarious Media Patreon. We're excited about it, man. I think Chris is going to be able to join us. We'll find a time where Chris can join us.
Yeah.
Because I want to hear Chris's thoughts. But here's the thing. I think you're right, Chris. Like, obviously, nobody can dispute the acting chops of Wesley Snipes, or Denzel, or Lawrence Fishburne. But Timock was somebody who was so new to acting. He was even being coached by acting coaches as they were shooting the movie. Like, basic stuff, like blocking and sounding authentic when you're delivering your lines. And I think the character of Bruce Leroy is kind of like this, if you watch the movie, this guy who is not quite fitting into what most of the folks in his neighborhood are into. He kind of feels like a little bit off, not in a bad way, but he's just a little bit different, a little naive. And I think that comes through in Timock's acting, in part because like this is his first big acting job. But I think Timock killed it. Like Denzel would have been weird, just like Denzel Washington. Like, you're saying you got the glow,
right?
You got the glow. I got the eye of the wolf. You and me, we're not the same Shogun. Don't know. I'm leaving Harlem with something. I'm leaving Harlem with something. Sure enough, ain't got shit on me.
Yeah, and they did the age-old formula with that movie too, where you get an unknown guy and you surround him by veteran actors that can carry him to greatness.
The Dwayne Johnson formula for his first year of acting.
Yeah, exactly. That's a tried and true formula. You don't for that movie they got Chris Murney playing Eddie Arcadia, Julius Carey.
Yes.
All these guys had like
Who's
theater
the baddest?
Yeah. And I think it worked, so yeah.
Real quick, Gerard, I know you and Jay are a little bit younger than us, but have you seen The Last Dragon? If so, any thoughts?
Only once as a child, so I'm just refrained from, as a Matrix watcher, watching The Matrix in theaters as a kid in 97, and I'm born in 92 or 98, and I'm born in 92. Way too young to be seeing that in theaters, but to imagine a Lawrence Fishburne from there, trying to replay that role, I can kind of see that.
Yeah. Lawrence Fishburne has a Jim Kelly thing about him.
Okay,
so I could kind of see it, but
we're talking karate Jim Kelly, not former Buffalo Bills quarterback Jim
Kelly.
Yeah,
the karate, the Enter the Dragon.
Like, I seen Lawrence Fishburne playing the shotgun. He's got a nice arm.
Hand off the
Thurman Thomas. Jay, have you seen the?
Here we go.
We'll get Jay's thoughts here in a second. We got some money. That's how you get the glow. What we got, Ray Williams?
All right. Thanks again, brother Derek, for $5 in the super chat. I'm surprised Leon Isaac Kennedy from Penitentiary fame wasn't in the running for The Last Dragon.
Penitentiary movies was something else, man.
Right, yeah.
That was a time in black cinema. Jay, great comment, Derek. We appreciate that, brother. Jay, what are your thoughts on The Last Dragon if you've seen it? Because to reach that higher level, your mind, body, and soul.
Must be one.
There you go. That song. Who sings that song, Chris? I'm blanking on the name.
It's Eddie Hutch.
Eddie Hutch, yes.
The glow. Yeah.
So what have you? I can tell by your laughter you've seen it at least once or twice. What are your thoughts on The Last Dragon, man?
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Yes, I've seen that movie. I go around to my kids to this day, kiss my Converse.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I've seen that movie. That movie was that was like in the 80s. That was a great movie, man. I loved it. I haven't seen it in many, many years, but I need to go back and watch that with you gentlemen.
Yeah, it's like, I think, look, here's the thing. Now that we got Brent Chittenden in on the agenda, we might not just do an episode on this. We might have like Last Dragon month, which concludes of two things, like just this episode with Brent, and then maybe doing a live watch of The Last Dragon, because I think that'd be a fun live watch on the network.
And the guy that sung that song is Willie Hutch. My bad.
Willie Hutch. Okay, Eddie Hutch was his brother. Eddie was playing percussion on that one. But two certified bangers on that soundtrack, which obviously it's a Motown backed film. It's gonna have a good soundtrack. But you got The Glow from Willie Hutch. Then you got, shout out to Marcus Vanderberg and his kinfolk, you got DeBarge, Rhythm of the Night.
Oh yeah. Woo. Yeah. That's the only music video that they've ever had was for that soundtrack.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, that was a fire soundtrack. There's a Stevie Wonder song on that soundtrack.
Yep, underrated. He was a Motown artist.
Upset Stomach.
Yeah.
Yep.
Upset Stomach. Yeah.
Yeah. Upset Stomach from my broken heart. Yeah. That shit was the jam. Upset Stomach. What else did they have on there? And like you said, the
soundtrack, Last Dragon. I was, as a little kid, running around singing "You Are the Last Dragon."
Yep. Yeah. The title theme song was good. What was the song? There was like some random poppy song with like Eddie Arcadian's like Bimbo, and that was a character in the movie.
It was called Fire.
Yes.
With the white girl.
Yes,
feel the flame. Yeah. That was a jam. That was cool. And then yeah.
Last Dragon is Last Dragon is advocate certified. Yes. Fresh. But yeah, that has been your Motown 10 minutes probably at this point, 11 minutes on The Last Dragon. So yeah, we might keep doing this if y'all dig it. If not, blame Ray.
Oh wait, I do have to mention Vanity too, Seventh Heaven.
Yeah, Vanity was in there. Yep. Fresh off her tour of duty as one of Prince's boos in Prince's movies. Yeah. Under the Cherry Moon's another movie that's not very good, but I love Under the Cherry.
Yeah. It's an easy movie to get nostalgic about.
Yeah.
Moon, yeah.
Record Store. What is Record Store? Well, if I wanted to buy a Sam Cooke album but didn't have it at home, where would I go? The Record Store. Prince. R.I.P. brother. Who is not a Motown artist. Anyway, that's another story for another day.
Yeah, folks who are interested in watching The Last Dragon, it can be watched for free on Tubi. So
I know that's a Tubi blockbuster right there.
Very appropriate.
If anybody gonna have it, Tubi gonna have it.
Yes.
Next, you're gonna tell me sky's blue.
Like, Tubi, do you have The Last Dragon? Shit.
You know I got The Last Dragon.
We playing it on a continuous loop right now. But yeah, shout out to Timok and Barry Gordy and Vanity and DeBarge and Julius Carey and the whole crew and Brent Chittenden for watching this movie on Blu-ray. I didn't even know it was on damn Blu-ray. Remastered version.
By the way, this Nate's Motown Minute was brought to you by patreon.com/Nefarious Media Network, where if you go ahead and subscribe, if we get to 1,000 followers, not only will Brother Ray have the Ray SMR, and not only will Brother Ray be showing the feed pics, but Brother Chris will be singing the entire soundtrack exclusively for those on Patreon.
Hey, I might even join in with Chris on that if we
Yeah,
get
if you remember the song
Get a taste.
"Upset Stomach," I remember.
The glow is the hit to me.
Yeah.
Like, you reach that final level, your
Yeah.
mind, body, and soul.
Even the scene with the Asian guys in Times Square, I think it was, where they're singing Suki Hookie Hat Saki Su. You saki to me, I saki to you. That shit.
That's another like subtle part, and we'll talk about it obviously when we do the podcast. But there's a subtle part of the podcast, like in a subtle part of the movie in terms of the humor, where Bruce Leroy is this black dude, obviously, that is just kind of enamored with Bruce Lee and that martial arts culture from Asia, and he like goes to this pizza parlor frequently with these Asian dudes that work at the pizza parlor, and they're like enamored by black culture.
Yeah.
And so it's like this interesting bit of social commentary in the middle of this crazy movie with Julius Carey, who didn't know martial arts before he took this role, Chris, is the Shogun of Harlem telling people to kiss his Converse. The Last Dragon is great, folks.
Yeah.
Much better than John Cena's heel run. Bringing it back to the WWE. So let's go back to Crown Jewel, another show which I have seen only in clip form, which may be the way I watch these shows from now on, fellas. But this was another outing, another partnership here between ESPN and the WWE. The first one, of course, being WrestlePalooza. Devontae never got that off the ground, I don't think. The whole WrestlePalooza thing. But what did we think of Crown Jewel? And Crown Jewel always trips me up because in my mind, I always think Crown Jewel is in Saudi. So I'm like, I ain't gonna watch that show, but it's in Australia. And so it's like, I'm still ain't gonna watch it because I gotta go to work, but I would have watched it if I was not at work. What did y'all think about Crown Jewel?
I didn't watch it, so I'll let one of the fellas take that one first.
You was watching The Last Dragon on 4K, the Blu-ray?
I did see some clips. Nah, I don't know. So many
You wasn't in the mood for it?
Yeah, probably not.
All right, Gerard, what'd you think about Crown Jewel?
Well, to give some surface level thoughts, I thought that the Seth Rollins Cody Rhodes match went way too long. I think it went too long in the fact that they did too many finishers, too many going too far when it comes to just not keeping people's moves credible. That top rope crossroads did not need to happen for Rollins to kick out of. We should have protected that, just like we protect the Crossroads Trinity. So, but happy to see Seth finally get that monkey off his back. Happy to see Stephanie winning the women's Crown Jewel belt. Okay. So nice to see that. Did not want to see Tiffany win that. And let's see where Stephanie goes from here forward. But Reed, new tribal chief, nice to see him get that dub, and the family drama of Jay and Jimmy not even being able to see no trick-or-treating. No, that's out the window. Thanksgiving, Friendsgiving, don't even holler at that either. But Christmas, I got you at Christmas, so I see you at Christmas. So kind of tough on the family. Rhea Ripley and E.L. Scott, Riho, if you will, defeating the Kabuki Warriors. Great. Good to see. Just hoping Asuka starts to build up some wins and get some credibility of her own, because a lot of losing. So would love to see her do that. And then the AJ John Cena match. I'm just sad that my favorite Republican lost, but hey, outside of that, great match. It's one of their best, but it's not their best in my opinion. But if you look at that finishing sequence, like I said on Ring Theory, and I'm a tag to Ring Theory next, John Okada with that tombstone pile driver pick up to an AA combination was very Okada-like, and so just had to give him John Okada his grace and his comeuppance for that. But with that said, for deeper analysis and deeper thoughts about my opinions, definitely check out Ring Theory that we just dropped this past Friday with a way longer, more in-depth look at Crown from my end. But Jay, how about you, man?
Yeah, same thing from me, man. I thought it was a decent show, but I mean, WrestlePalooza was a low bar to get over anyway, right? So, a lot of my thoughts I shared on Ring Theory this past episode, but I will share that, I thought it was an okay show. I didn't feel like I wasted time. I do want to highlight the John Cena AJ Styles match. And again, I watch, combat sports, professional wrestling as an escape. I'm not trying to really get emotionally invested, but when they did when Cena did the Sister Abigail and the Fireflies came out, I was like, who's cutting onions? You know what I'm saying? I got a little emotional about it. I didn't cry, didn't shed a tear, didn't pull a Mary J. Blige, but it didn't go a little further, you know what I mean? So I'm like, yo, but that was a good match, like Downtown said. It wasn't their best, but I think that was one of the matches I think we'll be talking about at the end of the year that we'll be going back and rewatching and saying that was a solid match.
Okay. Yeah, from what I saw in terms of the clips, like I think that AJ Cena match, it was kind of nostalgia spamming, but sometimes that works, man. Sometimes it works. And to Gerard's point earlier, since SummerSlam, maybe it's just shaking some of that ring rust off. Maybe it's like anybody that's ever quit a job knows this to be true. As bad as you may feel those 3, 4, 5 months before you quit, them last 2 weeks, you have renewed energy, combined with decreased levels of give a F. And so I feel like John Cena right now is in his increased energy, but don't give a F mode. And so we're seeing some of the best recent performances that we've seen from the Peacemaker on these streets. I, much like Gerard, was glad that Steph got the dub over Tiff, because again, Tiffany is not quite as bland as Stat, but she feels like a different version of tofu to me. Right. Where it's like it's not quite tofu because she does have a flavor, but it's not the flavor I'm expecting from this food. Like the character they're trying to portray her as is not the character she's giving. And so it's like if I take a bite out of Ray Williams, I ain't even gonna say it. The way I was about to formulate that question was the Ejectocito cuz worthy. So go ahead, hit the button and hit the button preemptively, Ray.
Ray was ejected.
Ray ejected. Ejectocito cuz, because the way that sentence was formulated in my mind was not PG, and it was not what I intended to say at all. But if Ray Williams was eating a carrot, and the carrot tasted like Hawaiian pizza, he'd be like, this is not congruous to what I'm eating. If Gerard Brown has a Krispy Kreme donut and it tastes like liver and onions, like this ain't what I'm supposed to be eating. And that's kind of how I feel about Tiff. Like the character she's giving is not the character they want us to accept as the audience. And it still has not quite congealed for me. You bring up that tag match with the Kabuki Warriors versus Riho, and I knew that Riho was going to get the dub, but I am still enjoying this Kabuki Warriors run immensely. Like just Asuka as the bully, Kairi, like got this young girl shook off of this meanness, man. I am here for like final form, like badass Asuka that don't give a damn about nobody. Got the snakes all up on her face. Somebody got a snake on their face. What they gonna do to you, Chris? They don't give a damn about themselves if they got a snake on their face. In terms of Devontae and Seth, I thought that was solid. We'll talk a little bit here in a second about the cover art for this month's podcast. Maybe the vision impairment. For one, Seth freaking Rollins. But I thought that was a good match, man. Not as the highs from the clips that I saw weren't as high as WrestleDream, but the show wasn't as long either. So, 6'7", as the kids say. Chris, let's go from the actual PLE itself to the fallout, which we saw on Monday Night Raw, which may even be the more interesting topic to get into because, man, the White Vision, we hardly knew ye.
Yeah.
Because Seth freaking Rollins, it be your own people sometimes, brother. What did you think of the turn? Technically, is it a turn if it's against your own peoples?
Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah.
What
There's
do you
several,
think of it?
there's several schools of thought on this, you know.
Okay, take us
Um,
to school, Professor.
Because one, Triple H would just never allow this kind of thing to happen, you know. I know people are going to talk about when Batista turned on Evolution, but it wasn't like a plot where Batista outsmarted Evolution, where he conglomerated with a couple other people. It was Batista acting on his own. Because Triple H was very, like, I don't know if we want to say the word good, but he was very meticulous about not ever letting himself look like the fool. Even when they lost to the Shield at that one pay-per-view, the logical next step was to see where the Shield was going to go from there. But then Seth Rollins turned heel out of the clear fucking blue, pissed Batista off, because Batista was like, yo, you guys brought me back to job to these fools, and I did it. And now you're just breaking them up already, you know? So there's a thought that where you can validly argue that it didn't really make Seth Rollins look that smart.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side of that coin, though, you know, Seth was injured, you know, especially, I don't know what the fuck he was thinking doing that diving coast to coast headbutt or whatever. But you know, it happened. I think now that they've already done this, I do think you kind of put yourselves in a position. There's no more is Braun Breaker ready questions, because it doesn't matter if he's ready or not.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of have to go with him. And we have to just see what he can do in a title reign, man. And it's either going to be successful, or it's either going to, I don't think it'll be an outright flop, but it's either going to be successful or not that successful. And if it's not that successful, you could go back to the drawing board. But okay. I do think the argument of, is this guy ready and stuff, I don't know what that even fucking means. Like, what is ready in professional wrestling, man? You get booked to do shit and you do it, you know.
Chris Statlander.
Yeah. Touche, my brother. Touche.
Sorry, right. It's Chris Statlander. That's what that is.
No, because that's both true for her too. Because if this is what the booker tells you to do, that's what you got to fucking do. No matter if you're ready or not. It's matter what are you gonna do with what you are given, you know. And that's where Braun Breaker's at right now. And I think they have to go all the way. I don't think they can shortchange it. I think shortchanging it would be a mistake. I think while the fans are hot for it, you know, and this is a WWE thing too. Everybody was cheering dude getting his ass beat, which is something they got to work on. But you know, you got to go with Braun. You just have to. If within the next couple pay-per-views, you have to go with them and just see where you land with this fool. And that's the bottom line.
When Chris brings up the question of ready or not, when it pertains to the Brons and one Braun in particular, Jay and Gerard, it make my mind flash back immediately, you know, because I've got a very musical brain, as we saw in the Motown Minute. And when Chris said ready or not, it reminded me of that song by After 7. And I think I think that's what Triple H is saying right now to LeBron Breaker. I'll give you the sun, the rain, the moon, the stars, and the mountains. I'll give you the world and so much more. Are you enjoying the show, kid? I think that, like, Chris is right, man. Like, you can't cut this off at the knees now. Like, you've already done the thing. And so if you're going to do the thing, you have to commit to the thing. I believe Braun is ready in whatever sense of the word ready means in professional wrestling. Like, he's obviously got the build. He's obviously had, you know, some tutelage under the learning tree of Paul E. But what do you think in terms of the overall story, Gerard? Like, did this make sense? Because you're somebody that really breaks this down on ring theory. Do you think this made sense from a storyline perspective? And how far can Braun go when they strap the rocket to his back? And what does that mean for Bronson Reed?
What it means for Bronson Reed, initially I thought at Crown Jewel, this win over Roman means now Braun's going to feel some pressure because everybody keeps saying now, it's not just Braun, it's both of you. And now Braun's feeling that pressure of, hey, my undisputed 20-year future is now not looking so undisputed with him growing with me. But now if I strike, and then here's the biggest thing. When you keep talking that talk, somebody eventually about to get pissed off. And when you literally have somebody that it's somebody to trip. Oh, come on, Braun. Give me that neck thing. Give me that neck thing, Braun. Like he was literally egging him on earlier. Oh, I didn't need nobody. I could have did this on my own. Don't let's not even go bite off of that comment. Oh, Braun, you came to me and now you're thriving. Homie ain't held no gold. Homie was a 2-time IC champion without him. Homie was literally doing things without this man. This man showed up and jumped on his team. Yeah, cool, great and all. But what has Seth done for him? Reed done got a win, a big win. What has Seth done besides bring down Braun's stock and then talk in his face about how much he's making his life better? Yeah, I'm gonna come take that from you too. And Braun is sitting here under the tutelage of the learning tree. Yuck, but you get what I'm saying. But with that said, I'm not gonna let him in my plan. And then, so Braun didn't know half some of those plans prior. Oh, the knee injury and this, that, and the other. You know what? Cool. I got my own plan now, and you not in it. Nobody in it. That's just how low key this plan is. Boom. You either with me or against me, Bronson. Bronson joins in. Paul, what is it? We already know you a leech, so what is it? Okay, come on, raise these hands. So I don't know if they're gonna add more people to it, but to me, Braun needs to win that gold because they've been building him up with NXT to have him beat Gunther and unify the belts against Tyler Bate and then do all these other big things in the past and all that. And he's got the crowd on his side. When he attacks Seth, it's not even just the surprise of an attack. When he held that belt up, there was a reaction behind that. People want to see him with big gold right here. And I'm not gonna lie, it's my favorite belt. He looked good with the belt. So it's his time. Go ahead. Punk doesn't need that back. He don't need that back right now. But Braun does. Braun can benefit from that. And you mean to tell me Braun taking it from now until WrestleMania as a threat? Okay, I'm cool with that. Let's see what he can do. Let's actually put the machine behind him. He also now has a storyline to bite into, adversaries and teammates and a former teammate that now it's not just about CM Punk and taking out Jey Uso and taking out everybody else. It's also a Seth Rollins program down the line that's really going to look interesting for him. So I think we strike while the iron's hot and we make the most out of this man.
Okay, Jay Lacey, what say you, brother?
I agree with all of those points. I think it's really time for them to go ahead and let's see what LeBron has, Braun Breaker has for him. You know, so I think to Gerard's point, he has held singles gold before, and you know, to his point, Paul Heyman has always aligned with younger talent and led them to the promised land. He did it with a Brock Lesnar before. He did it with a CM Punk before. And he's got the perfect opportunity now to do it with a Braun Breaker. And for Bronson Reed, I think he could split off and get his own singles gold at this point. I mean, have him go for the U.S. or Intercontinental title, whatever's on Raw, whatever. Have him go for one of those belts, you know. And why can't they both have singles gold, you know? I think it's a great story that can be told. And again,
I know.
I look at, like, one of my favorite lyrics from Sugar Free. He said the same thing that make you laugh will make you cry. Seth Rollins had this whole thing and he pretended to be hurt, and here it is, life imitating art. He's actually hurt. You don't play with that kind of stuff, man.
You know what? Let's take that even a step further, because one of Seth Rollins' biggest gimmicks right now is he be laughing everywhere he go. Ha ha! He on First Take with Mike Greenberg. Ha ha, Greeny, these bands. Ha ha! What if, to take that phrase from Sugar Free, we get not the laughing man Seth Rollins, but a shout out to my man from Sliders. We get the crying man Seth Rollins. He just that was just a silly aside.
No, silly aside, but you speaking some facts.
Hey, not to critique your production, but next time you do the Ejectocito, I need more volume because I want the people to really enjoy the joke here.
But no, you hit on
I knew he was going to do it. Go ahead, Gerard.
But no, you hit on a valid point. Like, when Seth does come back, A, let's hope this is not the boy crying wolf. But B, when he does come back, I don't want to hear him laughing. Like, gotta go. Gotta go. Like, same issue I had with Cena's heel turn is, where's the shift? Where's the change? I would jump you too if you're gonna keep doing the same clown shit that you've been doing this whole time. Get up out my face and give me that belt. Do something different. Yes, you can. He's a great wrestler. He always can put the company on his back in ring and supportive wise, but I need character shifts from Seth. I need a more serious tone. When what people love the most about Seth is when he gets serious. And so why are we holding that off?
Yeah.
Like, why can't that just be your character? We don't need it to be something super special. Oh, we get serious Seth once a year. It's like Christmas. Oh, it's that time for serious Seth. Oh, yay, yay. No, serious Seth. You didn't got jumped now by the man who jumped you months ago. Put you out, and then you go recruit the man. Okay, I saw his power, and I don't want to get jumped again by him, so I'm gonna have him on team. Well, you got jumped again. Be serious. Your whole team turned their back on you. Don't laugh. Don't do that. Don't dance. Don't shimmy. Don't jimmy. Go straight to that ring and put up beating on some folks, man.
Yeah, I really don't want to see avant-garde Seth Rollins anymore. I mean, we need to see like the original version of the Messiah type Seth when he was like the early 2020. That's when he made his shift, and then I don't know what happened. He started, eating those magic mushrooms or something, and got these like futuristic things. We don't need that. We don't need the cackling. We don't need none of that. I want to see serious Seth Rollins do some work, and I think there's a lot of story to be told. And hopefully, he's not on the injury on the IR list for too long. I hope speedy recovery and all those good things.
Well, speaking of that injury, there is a non-believer amongst us. There is a naysayer. So Ray Williams, will you come out here and let a naysayer know? Because you are somebody who never believes when Seth Rollins gets hurt. Do you believe it this time, Ray?
Oh no, I mean, I think it'll depend because it's kind of odd that the brother hurt his shoulder on Sunday, but then suddenly, even though you needed surgery, all of a sudden got clearance for one night to take a bump through a spear, which you're affecting your shoulder, and take a tsunami, which you have to actually shield yourself by putting your arms in front of yourself, which involve your shoulder. So, I mean, maybe I think some people have been theorizing that it could be similar to a Cody Rhodes when he had his pec tear and he still went and did the Hell in a Cell anyway because he couldn't make it any worse. Maybe it's a situation like that, but it seems mighty odd that you would still, if you're truly legitimate hurt, that you'll put yourself in danger of worsening the injury in that aspect the next night. But I'm not as skeptical as I was with the ankle for the Saturday night's main event. but still a little bit is in the back of my mind. I'm kind of leery of Seth, and maybe it's another ruse of the century. But
so Ray is saying, Seth, we don't believe you. You need more people. And Seth is like, Ray, my people just jumped me, dog. I ain't got no more people.
Mm-hmm. But how do I know that your people who aren't your people are actually your people? And then you end up trying to take out CM Punk with your people who weren't your people, but now are your people again.
So is you is or is you ain't my constituency is what the question we need to be asking.
Yeah. So who knows what's up? Because again, he was stringing people along, walking around with a boot and with some crutches, just like not too long ago, like maybe like 3-4 months ago. So
hey, the miracles of modern science, Ray Williams. Have you not learned yet? But any last thoughts on WWE as a whole before we get, because I do want to take some time tonight to talk about some damn TNA, because I feel like we've been lacking on our TNA coverage. So any thoughts, fellas, on the WWE as a whole, whether it's the Cena stuff, the Bronze out here running wild, the ladies, anything else, Cody, Devontae, Rhodes, any thoughts?
Oh, hey, yo, no, yeah, let's actually talk about that real quick, because you know, how we gonna come out here a house of fire? I'm tired of you and all this Drew McIntyre. Come on, man. Let me put my, you know what? I'm gonna put my title on the line. I'm gonna face you in this way in my suit. We gonna do this right now for this town. Cool, that's great. But then when I see you over here, give me the belt. Oh, and you gonna DQ lost this match, homie? What are you doing, fam? Like,
you're not losing the belt. That's what he's doing.
Right.
It would have been a heel turn. If we saw anybody else do that, it'd have been a heel turn. I get that we need to do an outfit for this Jacob Fatu injury, but it's not. That's not it, man. Because you could have did a double DQ. We could have brawled the brawl for it all, but nah, we had to do that. And there's a story I can see. I can see the story of like
he learned his lesson from Cena, man. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, fam.
It could be that, or it's I can't really beat Drew. Maybe that's really the story. I got lucky because the referee helped me at WrestlePalooza, and then I beat him. I'm in my suit, and you know what? I was too hyped when I came out here. I earned the ass whooping that I didn't need. So you know what? Let me get out of this. What if he also? I've heard the whole speculation, not my idea, but what if he took out Jacob Fatu? Because you know what? I don't want that smoke. And there's precedence for this because last year when Jacob first got here, I think leading up into Money in the Bank, they were all in the ring, and Cody was like, you know what? Let me just take a shot. Hey, Jacob Fatu, let me put my title on the line against you. And Solo stepped in the way and all this other. Oh, it's just a shot. Like, yeah, the crowd popped for that, but did you really want that smoke? Or was you just trying to play a game that you knew he wasn't going to come out to play for that? And so now you look like the big man on campus. I can see this being a slow burn for a Cody turn. Like, I'm not mad at that. And I would like that a lot, but I could also see that being Solo's family, Solo and his family jumping him and a Tala Tongan putting that big no. Ejectocito, because I caught myself on that one.
Hit it, Ray.
Big, like, tall structure that fell on Fatu. Yep. Y'all see what I'm talking about?
Talking to them all.
How'd y'all feel about the segment and all that?
Any thoughts, Chris or Jay?
Not really. I kind of exhausted them with, it was what it was.
Are you here for the slow Cody heel turn, if that is in fact what we're getting?
I don't. I'm already ready for Cody to go back to AEW.
Damn.
And finish that story.
You better read his contract first.
Right, yeah, exactly. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, there's not too many frontiers you can go on with Cody. You know, you have to. I think I don't know if they've milked the face run with him for all they could. There's probably still a little bit more left in it, so maybe not do the heel turn within this calendar year. Maybe the end of next calendar year, but I think the money with Cody is as a face. I don't see him being a huge draw as a heel in WWE at least. But that's just I have to see it first, though. My mind could always change.
Anybody remember what the terms were of his contract when he signed?
Cody?
Yeah.
I hate to pull a Conor McGregor, but like I'm sure homie is not fighting on his last contract anymore. I'm sure homie has read up a couple times because yesterday's value when he first came up in his mug is for show, not today's value.
Exactly. Yeah. Cody's a made man for the rest of his career as far as that.
Wherever he goes. But to Chris's point, the fact that he is still such a strong babyface, even through in my opinion, you know, the dragging out of the Reign story, even through being dragged through the mud with this damn John Cena heel turn and being made to look like an idiot at points. Like the fact that he still gets these good reactions is surprising to me because I figured at some point it was going to fade away, and there was a little bit of a danger of that at points. But for the most part, like Cody's been really, really strong as a babyface, and I think that's credit to him and his understanding of his character and that connection with the people.
Yeah, I think Cody Rhodes knows how to read the room too. That's why he left AEW because he just said it was time to leave the territory.
Like, I just burned myself and ain't nobody cheering. I think it's time to go, fellas.
Right, yeah, and I think he'll be the same way. Not for Andrade.
We found the missing link. It was Andrade all along.
Right, yeah. But the same with him in WWE. When the heel turn runs its course, when the face run runs its course, he'll turn heel, and when that runs its course, you know, he'll make a decision from there. You know,
good night and God bless.
Yeah, but Cody knows. Cody is one person that I trust that knows his character better than a lot of other wrestlers.
Okay.
And real quick, I just looked it up. CBSSports.com says that Cody mentioned in March of this year that he signed a multi-year extension, but did not mention specific terms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Cody Devontae Rhodes and what Gerard Brown is theorizing? I was going to say alleging, but that's a negative connotation. Gerard Brown is theorizing could be the seeds planted for a slow burn to the heel turn.
I would like to believe that, but with the lazy booking that the WWE has been displaying,
exactly.
I can't say that. I can't say that, but it'd be interesting if it did happen because I mean this is something that we've been wanting for a while. It's like, okay, cool, you've been this baby face for a while. Let's switch it up a little bit, and if this is seeds to plant to go ahead and make that happen, cool. Let's see what works with that. But other than that, I would say I'd like to shout out Ilya Dragunov, man, for his return and getting that U.S. title strap, man. So did not see that coming, and that was one of the things I was really happy and pleasantly surprised about.
Okay. Shout out to Dragunov, Chinyere Okafor's favorite professional wrestler.
Yeah.
Ray Williams got the reference.
All right, just to let y'all know, I got about a good 10 minutes or so left. So whatever else.
Just to let you know, Chris, we got about a good 5 minutes. How about that? Two can play this game, brother.
Okay, cool.
I have the high ground, Anakin.
Don't get me started on that. I hate that.
The
high ground argument is hate. I hate that.
I have the high ground, Anakin. I'm aura farming here in this ship while you die slowly.
Darth Maul in episode 1 has something to say to you, but we can talk about that
later. Real quick though, because I didn't want to leave this out before we left this week. Any thoughts on the current state of America's third favorite promotion? total nonstop action. TNA on these streets, man. Another big-ish kind of month for TNA. Another big show. Hall of Fame inductees, newly minted. Any thoughts on the current state of TNA, and particular that relationship with NXT as we're seeing it continue to blossom?
Yeah, I want to say something about this.
Talk to him, Chris.
I saw the picture with the Hardy Boys, with my boys, the Fonz, Henry Winkler, and Ralph Mouth.
Ralph Mouth still out here on these streets.
Yeah, and Potsy Weber. They were posing for a picture together. So I thought that was
a random collection of people. The Happy Days gang and the Hardy Boys.
Right, yeah. And not Ron Howard, because Ron Howard's a big.
You know what, Henry? I always thought you was really cool back in the day when you were the Fonz, and I used to close my eyes when I was a kid and use my imagination and think that I was back there in the 50s with you, except it was a nicer version of the 50s with no segregation, because everybody was welcome at the diner when I was there. Hey. That's my impression of Jeff Hardy meeting Henry Winkler, doing an impression of Henry Winkler. It's impression inception, brother.
But if I don't know, you tell me, Nate. It feels like I'm just waiting for WWE to buy TNA outright. I don't love the way TNA. I think it's good. I think it's good and bad. I think TNA has gotten a lot of exposure from this deal with WWE. It's been good for them from a television standpoint. As far as a creative standpoint, I don't really know, because it's like I didn't like when Randy Orton, when he was fighting Joe Hendry at WrestleMania, and they went out of their way to just mention how it wasn't for the TNA title, like winning the TNA title was like some kind of scarlet letter or bad.
That would have kind of been awesome if Randy Orton had won the damn TNA title.
Yeah, I wouldn't have had any problem with it. The TNA title's been held by some of the greatest wrestlers in the industry, so I don't know why you fucking do that. And I just don't like the way, and I think TNA is a step above NXT just from a level capacity, you know, not from a television standpoint, because NXT is up on them, but you know, I think NXT is still a developmental company for all intents and purposes, you know.
Yeah, I
think the guys in TNA are a little bit more seasoned, and can do a lot more things. So I hope that if the relationship continues, TNA gets a little bit more out of it than just television exposure and just guys that WWE is going to take from them anyway when their contracts run out. But we'll see, you know.
I'm into it right now. I'm into what TNA is doing. Obviously, I don't have a lot of free time to devote to watching their shows week to week, so I watch TNA like I'm sure a majority of our audience watches TNA, which is through their YouTube channel. And side note, while you're watching the TNA YouTube channel, you can just click out of the video real quick. It'll still play at the bottom of your screen. Go over to the Nefarious Media Network YouTube page and hit that subscribe button. It don't cost you nothing, man. Nothing. But it means everything. But yeah, I like a lot of what TNA is doing right now, man. Like, you know, going back to your man, the Fonz, Jeff Hardy. Like that match between them and the Dudley Boys was, again, nostalgia bait, nostalgia spamming, but it worked on me, man.
Yeah, it was good.
Even the point where the Dudley Boys gave them their boots, and it's like, oh man, this really is the end of an era, man. That's cool to see them go out like that. I love the Hall of Fame inductions with Mickie James and the Beautiful People, because that's one thing you can always say about TNA is, well, not always, because there was a time when they did not treat their women very well in terms of the portrayal on screen. But since the induction of the Knockouts division, like TNA was always kind of on the forefront in major North American promotions in terms of the way they position their female talent. So you got to give them credit for that. And then with this WWE NXT thing, or this TNXT, NXT I got there eventually, much like TNA did eventually. After I was stuck with Vince Russo and Dixie Carter on them first 2 attempts, and now I finally made it into the modern era. But NXT I think you're right, Chris, in that it is kind of a big brother, little brother thing, big bank, little bank. But at the same time, NXT has shown TNA far more respect, in my opinion, than AEW did, because that AEW thing kind of went nowhere.
Yeah.
And I had such high hopes for the AEW TNA partnership, and it was just kind of like, oh, this is just
okay. I don't know if I all the way agree with that. I don't disagree with it. I just don't, because the main thing with me and when TNA was working with AEW is at least the guys there wanted the belt. That was the big thing. Is like Kenny Omega wanted the TNA title.
Well, the NXT guys want the TNA belt. None of the main eventers, the main roster guys want it.
That's the problem. Is the main? I'm talking about the main roster guys.
Okay.
It's like they and Christian wanted it. You know, it's like when these guys won the belt, they wanted the belt, and I do. That's my big caveat. As far as like the relationship with NXT, if we take the whole WWE of it all out of the picture, then the relationship with NXT has been fruitful. I think when you add WWE to the picture, it's not as great. But I do think that I definitely agree that their relationship with NXT has been much better than AEW's relationship with TNA. I do agree.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a backward, it's almost like a backhanded compliment, Chris.
Yeah,
when you look at that relationship, because it's like, a lot of those NXT guys and girls are super excited to be working with TNA, in part because I think a lot of them may have watched TNA growing up in certain points, seeing people like AJ Styles or Samoa Joe, Christopher Daniels, Mickie James, Gail Kim, Awesome Kong, like the beautiful people, like that might have been some of their inspiration coming up. And so they're excited, but it's like, how much faith does the company have in TNA is a fair question to ask. And I get your point there, Chris. I do think, though, that the NXT TNA relationship is working for me right now. Jay, what do you think about it in terms of this collaboration, the most unlikely collab in wrestling right now?
I think it's cool for TNA to show up on NXT television. You get the Mustafa Ali's that show up. You'll get some of I'm about done with Joe Henry showing up on NXT.
You said his name, brother. He about to show up.
I'm like, man, I know, right? So, but there's certain things that actually work. There's certain things that don't work. Like I like going back to Bound for Glory. Watching the Javon Evans and Leon Slater match, that had the makings of a banger, only to be messed up by Dark State ruining it, right? And it's like, this is why I don't watch TNA. This is why some tuckery like this is the reason why I don't fool with them like that. For every two steps they take forward, they take about 3 or 4 back, and it's like, But I will say this. I think that TNA is in a lot better position. They're a lot healthier of a company. Mike Santana, shout out to him. We talked about him on the...
Oh, yeah, that was awesome.
I shout out to him, for betting on himself and getting the job done and getting his world championship reign. And hopefully he does some big things with that. But I think the partnership and the collaboration for both companies is good and all well. But the end point, to Chris's point, they need to announce that they got purchased by WWE or something, because there has to be an end game at this. Did they sign a non-compete? What's in their contract?
Because Jarek is right, because I don't understand the this is like being in the friend zone with a woman for like fucking 15 years. Every once in a while you get to make out with her. You get a drunken make out sesh with her.
Damn.
But that's about it.
Just
You know,
NXT calling at 2 a.m. You up, TNA?
yeah, you get that kind of shit.
What you doing?
She'll let you give her a massage, but it won't go much further than that, you know. And this just seems like the relationship
This
right now.
analogy.
It's annoying from a perspective of someone that's a part of the wrestling press, that when people ask you what's TNA to WWE and you can't give them a one sentence answer, you know.
It's complicated.
It's complicated. That's the relationship status.
It's definitely like it's complicated relationship status. So I do think WWE just needs to go ahead, buy them. I don't want TNA to get bought by anybody, but if that's where we're going, you might as well pull the scab off now than wait until later.
So what you're saying, Chris, before we turn it over to Downtown for the final word on TNA, is NXT is calling them up at 2 a.m. Got the incense in the background, playing some D'Angelo, R.I.P. Just how does it feel?
Yeah.
What you doing, TNA? How does it feel? Yeah, we're gonna send a couple of knockouts over. Yeah, you send your knockouts over. We'll send some of our girls. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. There you go. I need the background. Yeah. Moose, what Moose doing? Okay, yeah. Oh, Trick here. Moose said, "Hey, Trick." Moose said, "Hey." Yeah, we'll be over. We'll be over on Tuesday. Okay. All right, bye. No, you can't stay over. Just come over, and then after NXT, you can go home. Is TNA doing the walk of shame after NXT?
Pretty much.
Gerard Brown, your thoughts on the TNA relationship and anything else you've seen from TNA lately?
I'm gonna go with answering the AEW part of, hey, I don't think the AEW one was bad. I think the visibility and also where TNA was just as a brand was in a totally different place. That the relationship was cool. Their world championship, their brand overall just needed a buzz, and so AEW and that partnership gave them something that helped them get to the point to build it even better.
Right.
For he's in Windsor. Good gracious. He got fired right after he switched it from Impact to TNA. Scott
D'Amore.
Scott D'Amore. So D'Amore gave it a buzz and built it up to a point where it could then get the ire of a WWE. Yes, a Vince McMahon stepping away and a Triple H stepping into that role, opening up that creative wheel to work with other companies. Now, in my opinion, this is an ECW / WWE relationship, like it was back in the 90s and 2000s. Of like, we can partner with you, but also look at how WWE has grown their young talent. I'm going to send a Trick Williams away to have his own kind of mini excursion in TNA and be their world champion. But still, they're not too far from me where I can bring him right back when I need him to. And he's still doing TV on Tuesdays as well. Cool. I've sent Dominic Mysterio down to AAA to build up a brand these last few shows. And then now he's the mega champion. We're doing these mini excursions with this. So I look at them as, you could buy them, but now you got to pay that staff. Now you got to do all this extra work. When you have the relationship, basically imagine it and liken it to, I feel like there's a good movie example, but if you've ever read 48 Laws of Power, like never strike down the master.
I have that book. Yeah.
But when the master shows weakness, then strike him down. And yes, WWE is technically the master in the situation, but they're just gonna wait for the weakness to show. And once they're vulnerable, we'll buy you. With WCW, they waited for them to be the most vulnerable and bought them for pennies on the dollars. They were worth way more than what they were purchased at. So same with ECW. They were bankrupt. But what was ECW also doing for them prior to that? helping them build up stars like Mike Awesome, stars like everybody wants head. Everybody wants
Al
head.
Snow.
Thank you, Al Snow.
Tajiri.
Struggling. Tajiri, like they were sending people there and getting them back and get new people from them that they had never had before, and having those partnerships with Jerry Lawler, rivaling with Sabu and RVD and all of them invading on Monday nights. They have done this in the past. They're now doing it with TNA. I'll also defend this. Hey, I know people are getting tired of Joe Hendry. As somebody there at WrestleMania, that was fun. To be at all these other different shows that weekend, indie shows. Here's Joe Hendry. Here's Joe Hendry. Here's Joe Hendry. And now he's at WrestleMania.
Like, y'all stop saying his name.
Like, it's for a man who, if you saw him from the WCPW days all the way back to this, like it's kind of amazing to see this man living his dream. And old man Randy needed a match because KO was down. So we're not gonna leave him without his match. But he don't have that contract scheduled to be over here all in TNA. Otherwise, that would have been a great thing for him to be putting over Mike Santana at Bound for Glory.
Yeah.
After having this crazy TNA title run. Yeah,
like a Randy Orton TNA title run, the world needed that, man.
That would have been nutty. Yeah. Now, you tell me they gave TNA that. TNA, I don't know where they at this point. They been got that TV deal been signed. They might be on TNT with AEW. I don't know, but they would have got that. So, like, but he ain't got that kind of time on his hands.
Right.
So, but it's incrementally growing them and building them. They're going to get back to a place where I think they could have a solid, small, maybe not cost-wise and actual, like, revenue-wise, but they can get back to a place where they can start to compete with an AEW, because AEW has fallen in its stature that it's trying to also work itself back up and gather audience attention. So
what do you mean by falling? I do have to go soon, but what do you mean by falling in its stature with AEW? Because I don't.
It's not like, well, like overall, like TV audience, like live TV audience. We don't know the HBO Max numbers, but the cable numbers prior to HBO Max even being a thing, we're slipping and struggling.
Yeah, I don't think TNA is.
And I'm not trying to say that as it stopped being appointment television for people. It's not to say that people are not following it, but people on a Wednesday night for that or whatever that window is, they were not just sitting down the way they were prior to that.
I think if TNA gets the CW deal or whatever contract was rumored, they'll be in better competition with AEW. They'll be in good competition with WWE if they got that kind of contract. If they're not doing shit on where they're at right now, they're not competing with AEW or WWE. It's just too far of
they need a better platform
climb, to do that.
So real quick, speaking of platforms, we got the best platform in the game right now here on Post Wrestling. Shout out to all of our Canadian fans and audience members. I know they happy tonight because the damn Blue Jays have tied up the ALCS. So shout out to all of our Canadian folks. That was your delayed, your CPT Canadian Thanksgiving present. The Blue Jays tied up the damn series. But Ray Williams, get out here, man, because it's time to wrap this thing up. Ejectocito, cuz. I'm gonna let that sit and marinate for a little minute. Real quick, we're gonna go around the horn one last time. If anybody has anything to say, anything to shout out, now is the time. We will start with the professor. Chris, anything you would like to promote, brother? Hold on. What we got, Ray?
All right. T. Anthony contributes with another $10 Canadian super chat. Thank you very much. Javon Evans is a special talent, wise beyond his years, and is someone who should be a huge star for WWE in the next 5 or 10 years, or 5 to 10 years. Keyword should.
Yes. Yeah, I think we can all agree the young OG is somebody they should be investing in. The question is, will they, given the company's track record with people that look like the young OG?
Yeah. I'll table my thoughts on that.
All right. Where can people find you, Chris?
Yeah, you can find me on my Substack. I haven't been writing that much because I have Interfolio packet to complete this for all of you guys that aren't in the academic field. I'm up for evaluation this next semester, so I have to have my packet of all the stuff I've been doing outside of teaching put together. And it's due in the morning, so that's why I kind of have to bounce early. But yeah, just follow me on Substack and also
on this. Subscribe to the Patreon, Chris. Damn.
Yeah, well, I haven't finished.
No, I'm saying tell your people for the Interfolio. Be like, hey, I ain't got to put all this together. Just subscribe to the damn Patreon, boss.
Yeah, they be watching me, so they probably will do that. So I don't know. So yeah, but yeah, subscribe on the Substack. Follow us on the Nefarious Media Network. Follow me on Blue Sky. KM Easy does it. Twitter, KM Easy does it also. Not on Twitter as much, but still follow me there. I'm basically keeping that open just in case someone tries to steal my identity. It's still owned by me. So yeah, and thank you all for listening and making this year be great for us, and hopefully we'll finish off strong, better than Cena's heel turn at least.
You never know. Travis Scott gonna join us next month on the program. But ladies and gentlemen, y'all give it up for the Professor Chris Ely. Chris, we know you got a jet, man. We appreciate you, brother.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you. Have a good rest of the show or whatever. Peace out.
The show about to be like 10 minutes, but we know you got to go, brother.
Yeah. All right, I'll holler at y'all. Peace.
All right, man.
See you all tomorrow, Chris.
Later.
Take it easy.
Shout out to Professor Chris Ely, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Gerard Downtown Brown, anything you would like to promote, sir?
Well, if you have not had a chance to, I'm going to drop it in the live chat as well, but check out the last episode of Ring Theory. We broke down Crown Jewel a little bit deeper. We gave our predictions, so you can now see how right or wrong we were. Not going to tell you. That's for your ears to find out. In that episode, we also then did a transition window, but between AEW and WWE. Ray, Jay, and myself, we chose our 5 different units. That could be a tag team, that could be a faction, or that could be just a single superstar. And we traded them across brands and shows in general. So, and we also tell you exactly where we want that person. So specifically, I'd say like, oh, I want a Jungle Express to go to an NXT, or because they need to work on their identity because they can't be Jungle Express anymore. And so that mask got to go. Or, hey, AJ Styles and Finn Balor might be making their way over to AEW for the Battle of the Bosses. All the Bullet Club bosses, if you would say that. So check out that episode of Ring Theory and hear what else we have to say about the new IWGP champion. We do talk about the TNA champion for a little bit as well. And so Ring Theory come to you. And if you might see me at a show, you might see me at World's End. If you're a Midwester, you're going to be in Chicago, Hoffman Estates. You might catch me at World's End this end of the year in December. So catch you around, and you'll catch me on the Nefarious Drive for 500. So hit that subscribe button, y'all.
Shout out to Gerard Brown, downtown in the building. And yes, check out the latest episode of Ring Theory. The video is up at our YouTube page, and the audio version dropped earlier today. I will say that the transfer window segment was great, but Ray, you can't in good conscience, in good faith, be doing your transfer window, and it's like Charlotte Flair, Alexa Bliss, Tiffany Stratton,
stop.
Who's WWE getting in, Ray? Megan Bain, Tony Storm, like so much. Ray, your rosters is gonna be lactose intolerant, brother. Diversify, Ray.
Monochromatic.
See, we can already tell Brother Nate probably didn't tune in because I mentioned a caramel queen that may be shifting over. So he's
I mean, look, Ray, even a broken clock is right twice a day, brother. Don't try to throw us off the trail with a red herring, if you will, or a caramel herring.
At least that's more often than Marjorie Taylor Greene is right. So I'll take twice a day.
What a world we live in where we're built bad, butch, bleach, blonde body. I just mixed it all up. But when she is on the right side of history with Donald Trump, it's like, what are we doing, America?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing? But there's only one person that can answer that question, and that is the holder of the Shula Fala himself, the leader of the mid-card mafia, the mid-card marauders, one half of the tag team over at Ring Theory, upper mid-card Jay Lacey. Anything you would like to promote, my brother, and solve America's problems in less than 30 seconds?
Less than 30 seconds? Okay, here we go. Make sure you watch and follow Ring Theory monthly episodes. This last episode was En Fuego. So check us out, see what we're doing over there. Check me out on Instagram at Jarek_wins. I'm on Twitter occasionally, and just follow me on Nefarious. It might pop up on the parlay, might pop up on other shows as well too. But that's where I am, and I appreciate the invite to being on the Post Wrestling platform as well too. So thanks.
Okay, always good to have you here, brother. Ray Williams, the king of calcium, the vegetable killer himself. A man is going to do a lot of soul searching tonight, man, for his life choices and his life decisions. Ray Williams, anything you would like to promote, my friend?
Well, in addition, you mentioned,
I like he had to take a moment to gather himself.
Ring Theory episode. Stop. I'm trying to hurry up, man. We're getting close.
Well,
to the time.
Go ahead, Ray.
Well, in addition to the Ring Theory, I do have a clip out describing the transition or the transfer window, as well as some upcoming clips from the parlay that we did this past week, where we have some clips dealing with Halloween candies and also the great candy corn debate. Hopefully I will be on the right side of history concerning that, but you can find me right here wherever Nefarious can be. So
I like how Jay is standing in solidarity with you, Ray.
Disappearing, bro.
We all stand in solidarity with Ray Williams in this time of need.
Hey, but I do got one thing to say about the candy corn.
Yes.
Basura.
Ooh,
thank you, Jay.
Unfortunately, his vote didn't count because he wasn't part of the panel.
The turn.
It is like listen, for Halloween, this is what I do, and this will define me for Halloween. I'm that house that hands out candy corn and cough drops.
Okay. I got my sugar and I got my protected. I'm good.
That's what I do.
You good in my book?
They come to my house trick or
You can't tell the difference.
They come to my house trick or treat, and I just give them a handful. They don't even see what I put in the bag. I'm like a handful of it. So they get home and they're like, "Oh, how did I get these cough drops? How did rubber stuff get in here?"
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, if you want to hear the great candy corn debate, check out the Nefarious Media Network, our latest episode of the parlay. And in terms of what's coming up on Nefarious, we don't know yet. As Jay continues to stand in solidarity with Ray Williams with his avatar. It's funny. This is the turn. I didn't think the Ring Theory turn was gonna happen so soon. Like Gerard went for the tag and Jay just jumped off the apron.
I said we was in trios at that, so it's crazy that
I had a decision to make. Ray looked at me and said, "You in with me?" And I said, "Let's roll."
Angles
with me,
right?
And Ray's gonna cut the promo on the next episode. You would have seen it coming if you wasn't wearing them sunglasses, brother.
Your vision was impaired, brother.
But in terms of what's coming up for Nefarious, which is not being impaired, we don't know yet. Because here's the thing: we were planning something for tomorrow, but we may take the day off. We'll see. I'll get with Ray and we'll talk about it. But if not, we'll be back tomorrow afternoon with something. But if we're not back with something, you can go and check out the Nefarious Media YouTube channel, which has all of our most recent episodes, including a show where we talked about Peacemaker. We talked about The Smashing Machine, gave you a spoiler-free review of The Rock's latest theatrical performance. Did we like it? Did we love it? Is DJ in line for an Oscar? You got to tune in to find out what we thought. We've also got the latest episode of Super Salad, where we talked about Peacemaker. The first 6 episodes. We'll be back in a couple weeks with the second half, or the back half, not really the half, but the back quadrant, or the back third of the Peacemaker episodes. Trying to do math at midnight is hard. But OG Rachel hosts Super Salad, and I am the temporary co-host until we find a better alternative. So, hey, if you're somebody out there who would love the podcast about superhero stuff, but you don't really have a platform, or you don't think you can just start a show from scratch, hey, send Ray a line, send Chris a line, send me a line, and we'll see if you're a good fit to join the team here at Nefarious. That goes for folks behind the scenes as well. If you dig what we do, we could always use a helping hand in terms of production, in terms of, getting these shows up for the people at a more consistent level. And then hit us up on Patreon, patreon.com/Nefarious Media Network, because we are on the drive for 500 Patreon subscribers, which does a lot in terms of getting the infrastructure of this network up and running. 500 YouTube subscribers, which gets us halfway to monetization and halfway to y'all seeing Ray's feet, Ray's tootsies up on these streets, the tootsies, if you will. His vegan tootsies at that.
And Chris singing the tunes.
Chris singing the songs from The Last Dragon, and Ray SMR. Imagine all these extra bonuses you get for subscribing to Nefarious Media Network, man. We really appreciate it, because we are an independent network here, and we're trying to make some things happen as we close out 2025. But finally, for me, check me out on Twitter at @8 MOZAIK at Nate Mosaic on Twitter. Check me out on Threads. Check me out on IG, and check out Nefarious on IG. We've been doing some big things in the recent weeks. But yeah, that's going to do it. You can bring me back out, Ray. I want to be amongst the people, because we want to thank everybody for tuning in to this edition of the NWA Podcast, a very thoughtful edition, not just because of the conversations that we had tonight, but because of the time that we've saved you all. We ain't gonna be like Tony Khan going an extra 2 hours. This is the tag team match. The tag team match just concluded, Gerard. We ain't gonna be out here 2 more hours waterboarding people and whatnot.
We gotta go.
We gotta go. And so we thank y'all for tuning in. Shout out to John Pollock and Wei Ting, the proprietors of Post Wrestling, for what they've allowed us to do here with the platform. Shout out to my man Austin James for the cover art for the NWA Podcast. Shout out, as always, to Righteous Reg for giving us one of the best themes in the podcast game right now. And shout out to you, the viewer or the listener. We couldn't do it without y'all. Actually, we could, but it wouldn't be as fun. So appreciate everybody that sent in super chats tonight. We'll be back in November for what I'm sure is going to be another fun episode of the Nubian Wrestling Advocates. For Chris, for Ray, for Gerard, for Jay, and for our special guest, Rich Fann, I am the Godfather, Nate Milton. And remember, the revolution may not be televised, but it damn sure will be podcasted. See y'all next month. Unless we get ejecto-cetoed, cuz. Hit the button, Ray. We gotta go.
Yo, it's Righteous Reg. It's a case for the safe, keep a space for the Nubians. Unfiltered, off kilter, the professor, the Godfather, post wrestling, the NWA, not keep guessing, The views and expressions, you know the rest, it's pod excellence, get the message. Advocates for Nubian wrestling, you're listening to the best again. Black wrestling in the ring we invested in. Nubian kings and queens we invested in. It's for the culture and we reppin' it. It's for the culture and we reppin' it.